What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Bartley and Barnes, or welcome to Bartley and Barnes. If this is your first time ever watching, we are finally live, and our overlay is missing. The one that
there we go.
the great Jake Berlin made for us.
Yes.
Shout out to our producer Jake Berlin,
Yes.
making us that hot intro, making us these great visuals, that hot logo.
Yes, sir.
We are definitely spoiled by that, man. Keith Barnes, you are here, man. I'm here. Jake Bartley. We are your hosts. This is Bartley and Barnes, your monthly movie, music, whatever we want to talk about show is here.
Yes.
How are you doing, Keith?
I'm here, man. We made it. Made it to Friday. Made it to July 2021. Let's see. This is phase 3, I think, of Bartley and Barnes. Phase 3, right? It's our third iteration of this show.
Hi, Rachel. First comment shared on the Bartley and Barnes reboot.
Yes. And this was about 6 months of trying to figure out, because we figured this back at the end of last year. We were like, okay, we need to bring back Bartley and Barnes.
What's up, Star Drew? Thank you for waiting on us. We appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah. So this show has gone through an evolution. I would say.
Yes.
For sure. I think we did it weekly for a brief period. And then when the pandemic hit, we started doing it bi-weekly. Mm-hmm. And what can we say? I was in school at the time. It was tough.
Yeah.
You're always running around. You got kids, demanding jobs. So it's not always easy. But I will say we're shooting it virtually right now. Just because for the moment, that's what's more convenient. But this show is going to be a live in-person show.
Yeah.
That we're going to be doing maybe, I'm guessing by August.
I'd say next show. The next show, we should probably be in person.
We can try.
I'm sure we can figure it out by then. You can come here to my house. We can probably.
Yeah, for sure by August, we'll be in person. And it'll look the same to you guys. But for us, it will be a lot better.
Like this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe slightly different backgrounds, but to the viewers, it'll look the same. But to us, it'll be a lot better because nothing better than being in person with your friends, talking movies, sports, all that good stuff. So
listen, we got shout out to Gio. Gio's
of course.
He said our producer Jake Berlin and Gio's just let everybody know watching.
I'm building it up. Hey, Gio's hanging out. Gio is our, I don't know what we want to call him, our engineer / newsman, whatever you want to call him. He's here to help out today. He's going to hop in a second here. And after the intro, and we might switch this around, but at least for this episode, after the intro, we're talking some movies. We're talking about theaters being back. We're going to talk about some news stories, and Gio is going to handle that for us. He got some cool news topics for us to talk about. So thank you, Gio, for joining us today. But Keith, being that it's our first episode back, I wanted to not necessarily get a little personal, but give us each a few minutes to just, talk, open mic. So how are you feeling? How are you doing? How's life? What do you want to talk about?
You know what? Since our last show, which was probably about a year ago, maybe. Maybe just under. It was last summer. I know that's for sure. Probably last fall, because I think we were talking about when I watched One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. For sure, I was the last.
Oh yeah, that's with the homework assignments.
Yeah. So I really, because I assigned you that documentary about Lenny Cook. I don't know. Did you ever watch it?
Oh no! See, that was the last episode because you assigned it and I never watched it and we never did it. But I remember you assigned me to the Larry Bird and Magic documentary, and I still talk about that documentary to this day. I absolutely love it. Yeah, and it made me love Larry Bird. Like I already loved Magic Johnson, but it made me love Larry Bird.
Absolutely, he's a bad dude. He's a beast out there. But So since then, I got a new place, got my own place. I'm literally right downstairs from where I was before. So that's been nice. Other than that, just work, kids dealing with school. It's been tough, obviously with the pandemic, tough for everybody. But having kids doing school from home has been tough. They went back for the last one, and then it's tough doing it as a single parent as well. Obviously, but so shout out to all single parents out there, especially during this time. It's pretty tough. But they went back to school for the last in Sacramento County. They went back to school for the last month of the year. Sacramento City district, and I say about a month. A month and a half, ish. The elementary school kids went back in March, and then my older kids that are in high school, they went back in May. And it was definitely better. They were excited to go back to see their kids. Oh, I bet you, yeah, Rachel. I bet it was kindergarten. Yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, it worked out. They got a little bit of sports in right at the end of the year, and they wound up going to 4 days a week, which is cool. Obviously, still doing the social distancing, and be curious to see what happens next year. I know a little bit of this is what you. Oh, I'm frozen. Sorry.
You're not frozen to me. I can.
Am I? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna borrow my sister's laptop to do this. She has a Mac. I should have borrowed it. Anyway, but yeah, I'm curious to see what. And obviously, Brian over on Apocalypse, our buddy Brian. Well, he's a teacher. I'm curious how next year is going to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to affect me too.
Right.
I'll be at least substitute teaching by then, like at public schools. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about that? How do you think it's going to go?
Well, right now I'm actually working with younger children. I'm working at a summer camp type thing, but it's like a day camp. It's not like where they go stay the night and stuff. It's a day camp, and I'm working with elementary school kids. Basically like 1st through 6th grade, and it's interesting. Like, from my experience with that so far, like I think most people, including kids, kind of step back and like gain an appreciation for life more because kids are like more behaved now. It's weird. Like, really? I don't know if it's just me but I'm noticing I think it's partially they're grateful to be back out in the world again. So they're just like that, kind of humbled a little bit, and they don't necessarily know that, but they're just like, I think it's just a type of thing. And I'm teaching them. Well, what I teach them specifically is like engineering stuff with Legos and Connects and city blocks and those type of toys. So that's what I'm doing right now. But that's just my summer job for now. So then in the fall, I'm still deciding if I want to go into middle school or high school substitute teaching. So I'm going to do one of those. But yeah, I mean, our last show was 11 months ago. Since then, I graduated college, got my bachelor's degree in English. Yes. I took the CBEST, which is a test to become certified to be able to be a substitute teacher in California. Passed it. Thank goodness. That math section was not easy. That section was not easy, but I passed it. And yeah, I'm just, it feels good, man. I feel like I'm heading to the next step in life. And before we record our next show, I will turn 30 years old. I'm turning 30.
That's right. 24th.
In 22 days. Turning 30. Like, wow. I can't believe I'm going to be 30, man. Like, I know I don't mean to, like, Keith, I know you're older than me, but I just, like, I can't believe I'm going to be 30. Like, it's so weird because, honestly, I still feel like an 18-year-old kid. Like, not my body, my head does.
2 years ago when I turned 40, the same thing happened to me. I was just sitting, I kept saying that over and over. Like, I'm 40. I'm 40. I'm 40. I'm my parents' age. My parents were 40. When I was in high school, and now that's me now. That's crazy. So you're certified in the whole state. That's a state certification. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting. Okay. That's interesting. So you can go all the way up to Reading and get a job.
I guess I could. Yeah, I don't know why I would, but
far down to San Diego. You go to the whole state.
I have to get approved by each district, which requires me to pay for a background check at each district. But I'm just gonna do a few. I'm just gonna do like Roseville, Rockland, maybe like San Juan, school district. So places around my area. But yeah, man, a lot has changed, but we're good. We still love movies. We still love television. We still love sports. So we're here to talk about it, man. And being that like the real soul of, our fandom comes from movies. Like that's like, if I had to choose one out of all these things, it's always going to be movies. And that's how we came together through movies. We have our Apocalypse channel. A lot of our viewers come to us because of movies. So we're going to start our first segment with our movie segment here. And we're just going to have a general discussion about theaters being back. We're going to talk about that Many Saints of Newark trailer for those of you who didn't see our reaction. And even if you did, we just want to talk about it even more. We're going to talk a little bit of F9, even though I know Keith hasn't seen it. Gio will probably join for that discussion, and I know Keith does not care about spoilers for that movie.
Not at all.
We'll talk a little bit of Quiet Place 2, a little bit of Luca. Keith wants to talk some Spiral, and we'll talk some movie news. Actually, let's start with the movie news, and let's bring our buddy Gio Ramos into the show whenever he is ready. What is up, Gio? Welcome. You are the first guest on the new Bartley and Barnes. How you doing, man?
Good. You guys caught me off guard a little bit. I was expecting a little bit of time, but hey, you put me on the spot, so it makes it even more fun.
Hey, feel free to come and go as you please, man.
I gotta say, welcome back, guys. It's nice to see you two on screen again, and keep it going, 1 month at a time.
Awesome, man. And this is typically a two-man show, but it's nice to have another guest on, and especially I like what you're going to be bringing to the show. Gio will be on whenever he's available to be on our show, and I still owe you some Phantom United appearances, and I promise I will fulfill those, Gio. We did that Batman review recently, so I guess we're even. So we're
we did. Yeah.
So you guys, so back when we first started Apocalypse, right, and all that. I was, and Gio was too, we were heavily, like, we were following movie news like crazy. Like, we knew everything, every little piece of movie news that dropped, we knew about it. And I used to follow it religiously and be on top of everything, everything. I do not do that anymore. And it's not because I don't want to. It's just like, I don't have time. Like, I don't even know how I used to have time to be all, like, to know everything. Like, I knew everything that was going on. And now I'm like so behind on movie news, and I catch up hearing from you guys for the most part. And when we go on Apocalypse, so Gio, you gathered together some news topics for us in the movie world. So let's get into it, man. What do you got for us first?
Okay, so the first one is going to be MCU related. Black Panther has officially begun filming. It's happening, guys. There's a lot of questions that we have, a lot of curiosity. Obviously, it's a heavy subject with the, tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman. But here's what Kevin Feige had to say during a interview while promoting Black Widow. He says, "It's clearly very emotional without Chad, but everyone is also very excited to bring the world of Wakanda back to the public and back to the fans. We're going to do it in a way that would make Chad proud." Black Panther Wakanda Forever releases July 8th, 2022. Any thoughts that you guys might have? I know we've talked about this on Apocalypse, but has anything changed? Any new ideas? We know the multiverse is opening up in the MCU. Does that present opportunities, or would you rather they keep it in the family and help fill the void of T'Challa no longer being... I mean, he'll obviously be in the movies, but as far as Chadwick's presence and him being physically there, what are your thoughts?
Go ahead, Keith.
I want to cry. I still want to cry. Hasn't even been. I just thought about as you were talking about it. I mean, it hasn't even been a year yet, man. We're still. It was.
Gio, I'll never forget where we were when we heard the news.
Gio was helping. Together, right?
Gio was helping me move, and we were like nearly done. My old apartment was almost empty, and Gio tells me, and I couldn't believe it. Like I couldn't believe it, and we put on Black Panther and Civil War like right away, back to back. Like
your place got very quiet because
I remember I put it in the chat. My son sent me the text. I was on my way home from work. I was stopping at this place down the street getting something to eat, and he just sent me a little like the kind of a sad face emoji. And I saw it just said image. You know, sometimes the text comes up and just says image. You can't see what it is. And I was just like, oh no. I clicked on it and I was just stunned. Like everybody, of course, but like really, everything in my heart just sank. I immediately went and checked. I saw that it was he sent me a link from TMZ, so I was like, okay, well, it's true. And I remember putting it in our group chat, like, what? And then we were all just, I don't know, man. But so still sad. Obviously, we're all still sad about it. I get kind of just choked up inside just thinking about it because I don't know. It's just tough. It's tough. I hate to immediately go to, oh, what are we going to do with Black Panther? But I mean, it was natural to,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I kind of felt silly doing that. I still kind of do. But obviously, the world does go on. So, yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see it. Obviously, I'm curious to see it. I can't wait to see what Ryan Coogler does. But knowing, I don't think any of us knew what a big role Boseman played, especially like in the dialogue and in the just with a lot of the writing and just so much input. It's like I think it wasn't until Ryan Coogler released his statement about it. I don't know if you guys remember his letter he wrote, but where he revealed all that. And man, that was just such a huge loss. So I'm sure it's been a real tough task trying to figure out what to do. But it's in good hands. I trust him. Obviously, he's a great filmmaker, so we trust him. We trust Kevin Feige. So it's going to be very powerful, man. I can't imagine there's going to be any dry eyes in the theater when we go see it. No matter what they do. So I don't know, man. Like I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also not. But I don't know. We'll see. What do you think?
Yeah, it's tough. Like it's easy. Actually, it's not. Neither way is easy. Like going forward with the movie is not easy. Not doing the movie would not be easy either. But they could have said, okay, we're just not going to make Black Panther movies anymore. We're going to have these characters in the MCU still and have the other characters pop up, but we're not going to do like Black Panther movies. And while I would understand that, I think it would be the wrong move because do you think Chadwick Boseman would want his passing to be the reason why they don't make Black Panther movies anymore? He would say, I mean, I didn't know him, but I've watched interviews and I hear him talk. He would say, hell no, like you guys are making more Black Panther movies. And I'm sure he wouldn't mind a recasting either, but they're not. They already announced they're not doing that, which is fine. I'm just curious, like, and I know it's completely different, but like, I know we're going to talk about F9 later and talk about Paul Walker, but it's like you kind of feel his presence in the movie still, like the character, but the actor's obviously passed, but you feel the presence of the character in the movie still, even though he's not on screen. I'm wondering, like, what are they going to do with the character? Like, did he pass in the universe? Is he still around, but he like retired and went off to hiding or something? I'm curious what they're going to do with that. And I can't think of a more difficult. And the difference is Paul Walker. Yes, he was one of the two main leads from the beginning of that franchise, right? And it turned into an ensemble type event film franchise. So they can make them without him. With Black Panther, we're talking about the lead actor, the the titular character who plays the actor who plays him dying. Like, how do you how do you like do it without the main character? It's like imagine if they made an Iron Man movie like without, like they made Iron Man 3 but it didn't have Tony Stark in it. Like, it depends, like, right, you could say Rhodey's Iron Man now or whatever. You can do that.
Iron Man wasn't fun. So
that'd be cool, but like it's just tough, man. Like, so bottom line is that like I'm cool with them making the movie because I have a strong feeling that Chadwick Boseman would want them to continue making this movie. And I'm really curious how it's going to be, how they're going to tackle it, how they're going to execute the storyline of him not physically being there. So it's going to be interesting.
Some things I will add, Kevin Feige has said they will not recast T'Challa and there won't be any CGI. So it only gives us more questions. But the fact that they're moving forward means they have a story that's confident enough to, I guess, maneuver in a way that continues. I mean, it is the subtitle Wakanda Forever. So as long as Wakanda is alive and thriving, he will always be a part of that, you know, as will the ancestors. So yeah, let's go to another movie that just started production.
Hold on, we're getting some direction from our producer here in the chat here.
No worries, we'll fix it next time.
It's a first show back. All right, so another movie has started filming. This one is a little bit more on a happier note if you're a fan of the franchise. John Wick Chapter 4. The cameras are rolling, and as a reminder, here are most of the cast members that will be in the movie. Bill Skarsgård, Donnie Yen, Hiroyuki Sanada. I'm going left to right. Obviously, Lawrence Fishburne and Keanu Reeves. So we know John Wick Chapter 4 and 5 are on the way. How much more can you guys take from this franchise? What else do they need to do now that we're 4 movies in?
That's a good question. It's a great question.
I know.
Now, Jacob, you love John Wick 3.
I love that movie so much.
It's your favorite movie that year?
It might have been, but wait, what came out that year? I got to look at my rankings that year, but it was definitely it was like top 3. It was top 3 for sure because it came out one of the years that
is that 18 or 19?
It came out one of the years that Endgame or
was one of
or Infinity War came out. So whichever one of those came out that year,
I think it was
that was number 1. But so anyways, so we've been going back and forth on this movie for forever because like you like it, right? But you don't love the ending.
It's the exact same. He ends up right exactly where he was at the beginning. I think it's great. I love it. I think it's really good. But I'm just saying the ending. I don't know. It just felt like it's the exact same way as number 2 ended, and then it's the exact same place he was at the start of 3. So. Hey,
but it was a move. It was a storyline to give us more movies, though. So I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it.
How many more people? Well, Gio asked a great question, like how much. Listen, it's great. I'm super. I love Donnie Yen very much. So I'm super happy about that. I'm a huge Donnie Yen guy. How many more people are they going to send at him? Like he's killed everyone that he's faced. The ones he hasn't killed are people that or friends of his that he let go, or people, or acquaintances, or people that he respects that he just let go. And like what? And I'm stuck within the story. Like I just can't imagine. Like what more can they do here? I'm curious. Obviously something because they're coming out with 4, but I hope. kind of like to see this thing get wrapped up here. Like, this all started with the dog and the car, and like, all right, and I mean, like, they keep sending these people after. It's a crazy world where I think the whole world is assassins, and because
like just everyone on Earth is an assassin.
Yeah, I really think it is. I really think it's just a weird universe where everybody is part of this weird underworld.
That's kind of cool. Like, we all just have our normal lives, but like everybody gets a text notification.
Everybody gets
There's a hit on John Wick, and I'm like, oh man, do I really want to go make $1 billion and try to kill John Wick? No, I don't want to die.
I'll get the next one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and like I said, he's killed everybody they've sent after him. So I mean, like, at what point, like, just leave him alone? I don't know, but I can't wait to see whatever Donnie Yen's going to do. And you got Pennywise in there.
I wonder
if he's actually.
I wonder who he's gonna, like, if he's gonna be an assassin or just like something else.
Some kind of.
Well, you just said everyone's an assassin, so
everyone's pretty much. Yeah.
I hope that the Scorpion actor is actually playing Scorpion, and Scorpion goes and fights John Wick, and then John Wick's gonna defeat him in like 2 minutes.
He might. He probably would. It's Warner Brothers, right? They could probably do that if they wanted. So.
Hey, why isn't John Wick in Mortal Kombat? The games?
In the games? I know. Yeah, that would be cool. He should be.
He should just be in the movies too. Like, what?
With a pencil. He do fatality with the pencil.
That'd be pretty cool. No, man. I'm stoked about this movie. Like, I liked the first one, and everybody was hyped about it. Right? Yeah. Like, it was great. Came out of nowhere, but I wasn't as excited. I didn't like it as much as the consensus. Right. The second one is cool. Like, second one's cool. Everyone liked it. I liked it. But the third one, like, I know a lot of people love it. I think I love it more than most people. Like, I just, I was in awe. Like, I watched it by myself, and I was just, when I'm enjoying a movie, I just like feel nonstop joy in my chest, and I'm just like, yes, this is why I go to the movies, and that's how I felt the whole time watching John Wick Chapter 3.
Gio, you saw
and I'm
3,
not
right?
even expecting it to be as in 4 to be as good, but I'm all in on this franchise. Is all I'm saying.
So John Wick 3, right, Gio?
Hmm.
Okay.
I think I might have enjoyed it more than the second one, and I was pretty high on the second one. I love the back and forth between Keanu Reeves and Common. So for me, that was a highlight. This franchise is on a high. The only question is, like, what else could they do to not make things seem repetitive? Like, we don't want to get desensitized by the idea, the concept of gun food in Keanu Reeves. So as long as you keep evolving it, I thought with the last one they did a good job with bringing in Halle Berry and her character with the 2 dogs and all that, and like that was cool to see. Keep doing things like that. I'm particularly interested to see what Donnie Yen brings. We know he can kick ass. He did in Rogue One and pretty much every other movie that he's in. So you don't bring him in just to make him a concierge at one of the assassin hotels. So, let's move on to something that I think Keith will be very excited about. So earlier this week, I posted in our group chat, Quentin Tarantino had a sit down with Joe Rogan, and it was a 3-hour conversation about his entire filmography, Hollywood back then when he started in the early 90s, late 80s, compared to today. But a big topic was the fact that Quentin is doing one more movie, and fans obviously want to know what that is. And a big contender for that last movie is a 3rd installment of Kill Bill. And Quentin Tarantino has in the past been open to the idea, but on Joe Rogan's podcast, he opened up and had this to say. I think it's just revisiting the characters 20 years later and just imagining the bride and her daughter BB having 20 years of peace, and then that peace is shattered. And now the bride and BB are on the run, and just the idea of being able to cast Uma Thurman and cast her daughter, Maya Hawke, in the thing would be effing exciting. Ellie Driver is still out there. Sophie Fatale is got her arm cut off, but she is still out there. They all got Bill's money. Actually, Gogo had a twin sister, Chiaki.
What?
So her twin sister could show up. A lot of ideas flowing through Quentin Tarantino. He's obviously open to this. We've heard him talk about a Star Trek movie. We've heard him talk about possibly doing another Western movie. But Kill Bill Volume 3 is always brought up every time Quentin Tarantino is in an interview, it seems like, because it makes sense, right? The story would continue with Vivica Fox's daughter, who witnessed her mother get killed in the first movie. So what do you guys think? Should this be his last movie? Do you have another movie in mind? The danger of revisiting a franchise 15 years later. What do you think?
Yes. No, yes. So he's been saying this. He said this. I remember he said this at the time when the movie came out. That this was an idea that he's had. So he's the type of guy. He comes up with ideas. He came up with the idea for Kill Bill when they were shooting Pulp Fiction. So he'll come up with an idea. He'll write some notes and he'll put it away for a few years. He did the same thing with Inglourious Basterds. He started writing that at or around the time of Jackie Brown. Put it away. Did the Kill Bill movies. Did Death Proof. And he said he opened his drawer, found Inglourious Basterds, and just finished it. He said he just kind of forgot about it. He kind of forgot about it, and then he just like, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was doing this, and then he finished that. So,
well, thank goodness, because that's my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. Is Inglourious Basterds.
On the DVD for Jackie Brown, he doesn't have it doesn't have a commentary, but what it has is, I don't know if you guys remember pop-up video, but it's something similar to that where it just has a running thing of facts on the bottom of the screen all throughout the film. And in this is on the DVD for Jackie Brown, which came out in '97. It said that Quentin's currently working on a World War II epic, and that's what turned out to be.
Wow, dude! Yeah. And Jackie Brown is a badass movie. Thank you for having me watch it. I love, honestly, it's crazy because it was the only one I hadn't seen.
Right.
And also, so my younger brother is a huge Tarantino fan as well.
Okay.
And he hadn't seen Jackie Brown either. So I watched Jackie Brown, loved it. Honestly, I think it's top 3. That's crazy.
I keep telling people,
to say, but it's your favorite, right?
That's my number 1. Yes.
And it's to me, it's honestly my in my top 3. My brother, who loves Tarantino, watched it, and he's saying the same thing. He loved it.
Yeah.
And then honestly, I remember I told you this after I watched it. It's still to this day my favorite Sam Jackson performance of all time.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah, right. He's so great in it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite Robert De Niro performances too. He's so good in this movie.
Honestly, yeah, it is one of my favorite, and because it is very not what you're used to with Robert De Niro. It is.
It's very subtle. It's very quiet. He's really kind of, but if
he's chill. A lot of the movie, he's chilling in an apartment with some girl, just smoking weed, hanging out. He's very he doesn't talk a lot. He's very relaxed and chill. It's weird.
Yes.
But it's great.
But yeah. So as far as Kill Bill though, so I've been waiting for this forever. I've always thought, as a Tarantino guy, I've always thought this is what he would do. And he's been saying for 20 years. Like I said, this interview comes out. He's been saying this all along. A lot of people don't believe him, but he's only making 10 and then he's done. And so I think it would only be right that he would finish with Kill Bill 3. The idea, obviously, if you remember that scene, the idea was there, obviously, right from the beginning. I think he's had it in mind all this time. The bride, which is Uma Thurman's character, she shoots Vivica Fox, and then the little girl's there, and she says, trust me.
One day you're gonna come for me.
Right. She's like,
I
didn't mean to do this in front of you, but trust me, your mother had it coming. And then she says, when you grow up, if you still feel raw about it, I'll be waiting for you. And so, like everybody, like
that's literally that writes itself.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So the fact that she wants to cast Uma's daughter, Uma and Ethan Hawke's daughter, Maya, which is really great.
I mean, she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right?
Yes, she was. She was in that. She was also. Well, that's interesting because the daughter, the actress that plays her, Uma Thurman's daughter, is also in that movie. So I thought
that's
maybe,
right. Yeah. That they would cast that, let her play her.
Yeah.
But you can go either way when you haven't
exactly.
shown the adult version of the character yet, right?
Right. But she looks like Uma Thurman, so I think
exactly. So it makes more sense.
Yeah, exactly. So I get that, but and then you find that actress, or you find somebody. I don't know. A lot of people were talking about Zendaya playing Vivica's daughter.
Ooh, I'd be cool with that.
I think, I remember that. There you go. Yeah, thank you, Gio.
I like Zendaya as an actress.
She's awesome. She's really good.
I do, and you know what I like her in, which the movie's not great, is The Greatest Showman.
Okay, I haven't seen it. Okay.
Oh, really? So
yeah, no, I haven't seen it.
The movie's not good, but the music, the musical, it's just a long musical. There's and it's great, and she's great. The music's great in it. The musical numbers are great in it. And then her, Zac Efron, and Hugh Jackman are amazing. So
yeah. That's kind of what I heard. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm into it. I hope that if you want to go Zendaya, great. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if that other young actress is acting. So I think that'd be a great way to go.
Kill the Bride. That would be
man.
One hell of a. All right. So I'll say I want this movie very, very much. Very, very much. But I don't want it to be his last movie, and I don't think it will be. He's going to make more movies than one more. I'm telling you guys right now. I'm telling you guys right now. I'll put money on it.
I'll take that bet.
Yeah, I think he's been saying it forever. I believe him because he says, I think he said it in this interview, but he says directors don't get better with age. There's very few directors that get better. Like he's like, I refuse to be that. I'm not going to be. I can't remember his example. He was like, I don't want to be. I can't remember. He named some director and some like bad movies they were making at the end, and it's kind of like, kind of get what he's saying, but I don't know. I kind of tend to believe.
You guys are, to a certain extent, each of you are creative people, right? To a certain extent, like obviously. I mean, Gio, what you do running your YouTube channel, that's creativity. Keith, I know you want to be a filmmaker. That's creativity. That itch to be a creator never goes away. It's always there. So I just don't look. He can make this movie and say it's his last, but then what if he has another Inglourious Bastards idea? I'm not saying literally Inglourious Bastards sequel. I'm saying like just something like that, or another Kill Bill idea. Like.
What I would say to that is
because I said I was going to retire. Am I not going to make this great idea that I had? See, I just don't.
What you got to remember, he's also a writer. So
So you're saying maybe he can write scripts and not direct? Okay.
Yes.
I still count that as him not retiring, though.
Yeah. Well, but he says directing. So if he says he retired from directing,
as long as he's around somewhere in Hollywood doing something, then. I'm fine with that. But yeah, I'm down for this. Oh, as an actor.
Okay. And you know what, Star Drew? Yeah, I was gonna say he does act. So that's a good point.
Hey, From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, he was on.
That's
he was
a
on
Robert
Alias
Rodriguez
thing.
movie.
Yeah. So,
all right, Gio, what do we got next, man?
Well, we have some Fast 9, but do you want to save that for during the discussion, or just go for it right now?
Yeah, go ahead. How many more news stories do we have?
Well, one of them is a rapid fire, and then so I'll just bring up the Fast 9 or the Fast and Furious, and I'll combine them both. So that way it's just two.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so Hobbs and Shaw proved that the Fast and Furious franchise can provide successful spinoffs. Your definition of success might vary Hobbs and Shaw was a success. Not as big as they hoped, but it was a success. So, during an interview promoting F9, the Fast Saga, the director, Justin Lin, who's done 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9, he will also do 10 and 11, finishing the Fast and Furious, at least the saga films, the main films. He introduced, well, he didn't introduce, the movie F9 introduced the idea of bringing, spoiler, not that anybody, I don't think anybody cares, the Brian O'Connor character back, Paul Walker. This might seem controversial, but Paul Walker has been on the record saying there were 12 movies planned initially. And so Vin Diesel, the cast and crew, Justin Lin, they decided it was best to finish Furious 7. And then that went on to Fate of the Furious, F9, and they decided let's finish this thing in his honor. So Justin Lin said, obviously, Paul and his character Brian are the soul and heart of how we've moved forward. Bringing him back is something that I think about every day. As we near the end of the franchise, it's a conversation I'm having. I think about this possibility every day. So not only are they thinking about bringing Paul Walker back, well, Brian O'Connor, the character back, they also have plans to milk this franchise as much as they can between now and who knows when. And part of that is doing a Cypher spinoff. Charlize Theron was doing an interview with Variety, and she said, meanwhile, Vin Diesel tells me that he has writers working on a Fast and Furious spinoff for Theron's character, Cypher. So this franchise is doing a lot of things, from bringing back characters who have previously died, like Han, now Brian, and they're even finding more ways to give spin-offs. So call it a state of the franchise. Any excitement? Any opinion? What do you got?
I'll go ahead and go because I know Keith doesn't care much about this franchise, but I'm sure you appreciate Paul Walker to a certain extent. It's weird because what are they going to do? Are they going to cast a new actor? Are they going to have his brothers do the thing and do the facial CGI thing? I'm curious. I took that little tag at the end of the movie. It was the last scene. It wasn't like an after credit scene or anything.
I read about
there is one, but it wasn't the Paul Walker one. I just saw his car driving up to the dinner at the end. I just took it as just a reminder that the character's still alive in the world. Yeah. And you know what? Like, look, I have a special connection to this franchise because it's my little brother's favorite movie franchise, and I used to buy him, like, whether it was his birthday or Christmas. I used to buy him the latest Blu-ray for the recent one that came out, and right now that brother is in jail, my brother, and so I can't do that anymore. So I have a soft spot for this franchise, and but I'll tell you, F9 sucks, by the way, and I'll tell you that. I'll be honest about that, but right up front, I don't care if I have a sentimental connection to the movie or to the franchise. F9 sucks, which disappoints me because I love Justin Lin. But I'll just say, like, I'm never gonna be like F the Fast and Furious franchise, F them bringing back this character. I'm all for it. Like, I can't not be. It's just a thing. So I'm okay with them if they think that it's, best to make the best movie possible. Then sure, like that's fine. But I just don't think it's necessary. Like, I think they can finish it without him. But anyways, I was getting at that, like, it's nice to know, because obviously Paul Walker is deceased, but it's nice to know that he's living through these movies still. Like, his character is still alive in this world, which is kind of a cool thing to think about, like, he kind of lives through that in a way. So I don't know. It's a weird thing, but I would rather than leave it alone, to be honest, and just finish whatever you're going to do without him and just keep referencing that he's still alive. He's watching the kids while they're out doing missions, you know?
Or just he's doing something like, I don't know. There's something he's doing where he can't.
Well, Keith. So Vin Diesel has a kid, right? In the franchise now.
Yeah, no. His name,
Dom
his
has
name
a
Brian.
kid, and then obviously Brian and his wife have a kid, kids. So like when this, so Dom's sister shows up to like join the mission, and they're like, "But where are the kids?" They're in the best hands possible with Brian.
Yeah.
Aw. So that's kind of how.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it happens. Spoilers for anybody who cares, but
that's what I'm saying. Well, at
like,
some
I'm
point,
cool
though,
with them just keep doing something like that.
Yeah. At some point, they gotta, like, there's not much more than that you really can do. I would agree if they would just keep it there, because look, the actor's gone. He's been gone for like 6 years almost now. Like, you can't. It's the idea of trying to keep him around. Well, yeah, we can see him again, and I don't like that. Like, we gotta. I don't know. It just seems odd to me. Like, it's okay. Like, he had a nice send off in 7.
You were in the middle of production of a movie, and he passed away, and you want to finish that one movie with him in it.
Yes,
but after that, don't make it more difficult for you guys.
Right. Exactly. And so, like they did with 7, like it was and they gave him a really nice send off at the end of 7. And it really felt like, okay, he's he's gone. And like you said, we know that he's still there. They can obviously there's mention of him, and but just like you said, yeah, you're exactly right. They're making it tougher than you really need to. You got there's plenty of other characters to build around or to continue this franchise with. Obviously, they're bringing back characters from movies past. With I know Bow Wow and Lucas Black are in this one. They bring back from Tokyo Drift. You still got Eva Mendes character out there. Obviously, they spun off with Hobbs and Shaw, and there's characters you can bring over from there. And it's a weird, crazy universe. And I don't know, but yeah, I'm not fond of the idea of trying to carry on this character. Like, I think, like I said, it was so nice what they did at the end of 7. Like, I think
exactly why that's our memory of the character now. Of the last time we see him.
Yeah.
Why would you tarnish that?
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about it, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I may, I've been supportive of a lot of things regarding this franchise, but this ain't one of them. I think it dilutes what they did in Furious 7, which was a very difficult thing to pull off, and one that it transcended the franchise for me with that movie, because it went very emotional and it was done so beautifully, so poetic, that now you're going to bring him back, and it's just like, I mean, we can get in the Fast 9 whenever you talk about it, but it's just I don't know about this. But we'll see. Any interest in the Charlize Theron spinoff? I mean, as a lead, she can do action, so
yeah.
As long as there's no Star Wars reference dialogue in it. That's because Keith, you would have cringed at the dialogue. And it's not her fault. It wasn't even her. I didn't mind her dialogue. The guy who was talking to her's dialogue was terrible. She was actually pretty funny, to be honest. She says, she's like, "No, you're more like Yoda," and he's like, "Oh, I'm okay with that. Yoda's a powerful Jedi," and she's like, "No, Yoda's a puppet with a hand up his ass." I'm like, that's pretty funny, actually. But the whole conversation was cringy. So.
Terrible. Yes. Yeah. See, so she's not going to do. So she'll.
But anyways,
make this spinoff, and then with her, she's not going to be in the Furiosa spinoff, which is annoying.
I will never say no to any movie that stars Charlize Theron. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, it just all depends on who they get to direct. I mean, if George Miller signs on, then you're like, oh, whoa, yeah, come on. Like,
watch it end up. I mean, whoever directs, watch it end up being the best movie in the franchise. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, last one. Rapid fire through these. Basically, they're all covers of the Suicide Squad from Empire Magazine. Now, in my opinion, Empire Magazine does a much better job with their covers as opposed to Entertainment Weekly. So I'm going to show these, and you guys give your opinions. Let's start with this one.
That one on the left is dope. Cool. They're both pretty cool, to be honest. I want a poster of the one on the left.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
And that's sick. Thinker, a lot of thinker in this in these covers.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I have a bad taste in my mouth from the Thinker from the Flash because it was like absolute trash in the worst season. Yeah. But this Thinker looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
he may very well have a connection with Starro.
Amanda Waller is badass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she is.
All right, next one.
I
like both of these.
What do you guys want me to say? I should not comment.
Well.
No, these look amazing. No, and I'll explain that for context. I mean, everybody who doesn't have a crush on Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn? I think everybody does, but I have an unhealthy infatuation with it. But also, I love that Jack Courtney's back in this movie.
Yeah.
And I love honestly, that's my favorite Jack Courtney role ever is Captain Boomerang. And I love that his boomerang is glowing. That is very, very cool. But but honestly, all right, infatuation aside, I love that they're doing that. The old school design, not old school, but like that design for Harley Quinn, the outfit. I love that they've kind of adapted it. I love that look for sure.
Is that Pete Davidson in the background there?
Yeah, I'm curious. I like Pete Davidson. I'm curious how he's gonna do in this movie. Like, I like the what was that movie? The King of Staten Island. I actually really like that movie.
Oh yeah, I want to watch that.
I'm a Judd Apatow a truther, but so I'm rooting for Pete Davidson for sure.
Yeah,
I think he may have if he gets killed off, he'll probably have the funniest death out of all of them.
I'm sure.
And regarding Captain Boomerang, the more I see, whether it be official photos, magazine covers, trailers, I'm getting the sense he's going to get killed off early. We don't see a lot of him.
I hope not. Honestly,
interesting.
If they kill Captain Boomerang, I will be pissed. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Gio probably already knows that it's confirmed that he's dead. Gio probably already knows, but I'm just look. That's how passionately I like the character. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. All right, last one. And we got Mongol.
There we go.
TDK. I believe her name is Sol Solaria. Rick Flag, Ratcatcher 2, Javelin, and Bloodsport.
Interesting. No, I like these. These are cool. I'm a big Joel Kinnaman fan. Like if you guys haven't watched The Killing, it's a show like a crime mystery. I've said this to people before, but The Killing, which stars him and another woman, I'm forgetting her name right now, but is one of the best seasons of television I've ever seen in my life. Like challenges for the best ever. The Killing season 1, and I was a big fan of Joel Kinnaman. So when he was cast as Rick Flag, I was so stoked. So I'm glad he's back. I like him, and I know Gio. I know that it's been reported that Warner Bros. Told James Gunn he can do whatever he wants in this movie. He can kill whoever he wants. I believe that, except that there's no way they're letting him kill Harley Quinn. No way.
Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn was
I don't think
absolutely.
So. The only reason I would agree with you.
I would put $1 million on it if I had $1 million.
The only reason I would agree with you is because Margot Robbie has such because she's a producer.
Yeah, exactly.
She's got so much weight behind that character.
But it also scares me because that means they probably will kill Captain Boomerang, which because they shouldn't though, because they should. I haven't heard one person ever say anything bad about the Captain Boomerang character in Suicide Squad. Like everybody said they didn't like the, like most people say they're negatives about the movie, but Captain Boomerang was great. Margot Robbie was great. Will Smith was great. So pay attention. Don't kill off characters that people love, especially when they've only been in one movie. When they've only been in one movie so far. Like it's cool if it's like Iron Man when he's been in 15 movies already.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But Gio, what
next month?
Which one of those stand out to you the most? What's your favorite?
Oh boy, let me take a look at them again. You know what? I'm gonna go with this one right here, based on. You think about the first movie. You have characters like Boomerang and Harley Quinn back. If you ask me to pick one cover, I'm gonna go with the Harley Quinn and Peacemaker. I'm excited to see. I mean, they greenlit that Peacemaker show like immediately, and that gets me curious about what John Cena brings to this movie as Peacemaker. His jokes have been hit or miss.
Look, we all know John Cena's not the greatest actor, but I still like him in movies. Like honestly, I even liked him in Fast 9. The storyline with him and Vin Diesel was the best part of the movie. Yeah, in my opinion. So I don't mind. I mean, look, like honestly, like Bumblebee, I think he hurt the movie, but something like Trainwreck, he elevated the movie. So he's hit or miss, kind of. But I liked him in F9, so we'll see. Obviously they're producing a multi-million-dollar series based on his character, so can't be bad, right?
Right.
And hey, the last movie Oscar win for costume and makeup, and I gotta say, it's
Oscar winning Suicide Squad.
It's still on par. The costumes look great. The makeup's fantastic. It could be an awards contender. You never know. I mean, never say never.
Are they built? It seems like this last trailer that came out, they're kind of doing a similar thing with Idris Elba that they did with Will Smith's character.
Yeah, identical. Like he has a daughter,
right?
And Amanda Waller is like using that as leverage.
Yeah, it's almost like it's almost like Deadshot was in the script, and then they
right.
Just like
that's exactly what I thought. That's exactly what I thought.
Put this character in because Will Smith wouldn't come back.
Yeah,
exactly.
So do you think he's going to be the center, like the kind of the main focus, sort of like he was? It seems like it.
From what I've read, the relationship between Bloodsport and Ratcatcher 2, who has taken over the mantle from her father,
right?
There will be a father-daughter like connection between the two throughout the movie, which makes sense.
Yeah,
Bloodsport misses his daughter, she misses her father.
Right.
Bloodsport could be not only one of the leaders of the squad, but maybe a father figure. Who knows?
A mentor. Yeah.
Wow, I forgot we have a DC expert in the house. So,
well, think about Guardians of the Galaxy and what James Gunn did for the Groot character at the very end when he's like, "We are Groot." Right. Could you imagine a moment like that in this movie between maybe a few of the characters? Probably.
Oh, look, this movie's going to be bonkers and insane, but I trust James Gunn as a filmmaker. It's not just going to be ridiculousness the whole time. There's going to be some heart in it for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, well, not only that, but also with Yondu and Star-Lord at the end of the second one.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God! That gets me every time. I
don't like that movie, but that was that's probably the best part of that movie.
Dude, the way Chris Pratt plays that when he's like, no, like when, oh my God, So I remember I was rewatching that movie and that scene came on, and I tweeted at James Gunn. I was like, like Guardians 2, like it's not great, but I do think it gets a bad rap, to be honest. And I was like, Guardians 2 is underappreciated, underrated, and I said especially the Yondu storyline. And he liked my tweet. I was stoked.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Which means he read it and heard my thoughts, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And let's end on that high note on this James Gunn topic. Was that it for movie news, Gio?
That's it. Yeah.
Awesome. So real quick, I just want to talk. So each month when we do this show, I do want to talk about the movies that came out and the movies that we watched, like new releases. So what I've seen F9. I've seen A Quiet Place 2. Did A Quiet Place 2 come out in June? Must have, right? Well, anyways,
let me check.
I think it did.
Hold on, let me check.
We can still talk about it. Yes, thank you, Gio. As long as Gio's available when we do this show, I would love to have him as our movie news correspondent because that would be amazing. But also, so I've seen F9, Quiet Place 2, and Luca as far as recent releases. Have you seen Luca?
Yes.
Okay, so you've seen Luca and A Quiet Place 2. So out of those three movies that I've seen, I just want to say really quick, Quiet Place 2 is the best one, maybe by far. Yeah. I like Luca a lot. Luca's cute. I like it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's... Look, Pixar has a lot of movies now. So to crack the top 5...
Not even 5, even 10. I think it's mid-tier. It's mid-tier Pixar.
To crack the top 5 is hard, is all I'm going to say.
It's up there. It's in the mid-level with like, I don't know. What's I don't know. What's a mid-level Pixar movie that's kind of, it's okay.
I mean, I don't know about you, how you feel, but like the first Cars to me is a mid-level Pixar movie.
I love Cars. That's
the first one.
That's a special movie. But so I love Cars. But I know what you mean.
I mean, Cars 2...
Yeah, man. I thought Cars 3 was pretty good.
I haven't seen Cars 3.
I think it's pretty good.
I need to watch it because I can't go on through life without watching a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Look, and I don't want to. And shout out to Gio. I guess he's heading out for the night. But he said he'll be in the chat and be watching. So thank you so much, Gio.
Thanks,
really
sir.
Appreciate it. Yes. But yes, so I haven't watched as many movies. Well, I've watched more movies than that, but as far as new releases go this month, those are the ones I've seen. And I got to say, even though I don't think it's a perfect film, A Quiet Place 2 takes the cake for me this month. What about you, Keith?
Oh, yeah, it's my number one probably for the year so far, which it's obviously there's not much to draw.
Yeah, I mean, look, last year, this year, I'm still keeping track of the movies that I've seen and all that. And so actually, let me bring up my list really quick, but go ahead, keep talking.
Well, I between that and now I know I saw Promising Young Woman in January.
Well, that came out last year, but
it's a 2020 release, but I saw it in 21.
Oh, if that movie came out this year, it would be my number one movie by 1,000 miles.
Well, I saw it after we did our top 10 of the year last year. So I would have had it on my list for sure in top 1 or 2.
Dude, all right. So my top 3 movies last year: Invisible Man, The Gentleman, Promising Young Woman. My top 3 movies of 2020. Dude, Promising Young Woman is so good.
Very good. It's an incredible movie.
It's incredible. Yeah, it really is. But so I haven't put A Quiet Place 2 in here yet. But before I watched these 3 movies, The Mitchells and the Machines, or The Mitchells versus the Machines, was my favorite movie of 2021. It's a Netflix it's a Netflix animated film, but it's Phil Lord and Chris Miller. I believe I don't think they directed it.
Produced it.
But Keith, you haven't seen it?
No, never heard of it.
Keith, you have to watch this movie with your kids. Dude, it is so good. I gotta look up. I don't think they directed it, but let me look it up.
Right.
But anyways, I still think still think that might be my favorite movie of the year, to be honest. So it wasn't directed by them. It was directed by Michael Rianda and Jeff Rowe, but it is produced by them. I mean, I know. Well, I know you appreciate a good animated film. Doesn't matter.
Yes.
Like I don't.
I love animation.
A film is a film. Like I don't care what medium. If it's animated, whatever. If it's stop motion, if it's all CGI. Like I don't care. Good story, good characters. It's a movie.
Right.
And Mitchell's and the Machines is my favorite movie of the year, or Mitchell's versus the Machines. But Quiet Place 2 probably is right behind it, and it's just like I don't think Quiet Place 2 is as good as Quiet Place 1, and I don't think we did do a spoiler review on Apocalypse.
Yeah.
But I guess for me, my opinion changes a little bit with time, and I think with time I've appreciated it more because the highlight of those movies is to create tense environments and create horror through environment, and they do that so well in this movie. And I just love how, like, when the creature gets to the island and it's like open season for them, there's just a bunch of people around. It's so brutal, like how fast they move and just take people out. But anyways, and then I would say if we're just talking about movies from June, Luca is a really solid movie. Really good, really solid, very enjoyable. And then F9, honestly, like I know it's hard for me to admit, but F9 sucks. Like straight up dog crap.
I remember, and that's why I was like, I thought when the trailer first came out last year and we talked about it, I was like, you know what? I'll probably go see this one in the theater. This will be the first one I go see. The closer we got to it, and I'm watching more and more images and TV spots, and I'm like, this looks like just nonsense. I can't bring myself to pay money to go sit in the theater and watch this nonsense for. And
what's weird is that, like, I don't know what turned you off from the trailers, but
it was a spaceship car.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't even see that in the trailers. Like, I stopped watching trailers after the first two.
Yeah.
But I see that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous in the movie.
In the movie, yeah.
But like I could see a lot of people saying, and even I was like, "Oh, Dom had a brother this whole time. Wow, how convenient!" And oh, it's John Cena. Like I could see a lot of people thinking that was going to be the negative aspect of the movie. It was the best part of the movie for me. Like so they show flashbacks when they were kids, like when they're like, I guess young adults or teenagers. Oh, they're teenagers. They're like 16 and 18 or something.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was kind of the best part of the movie and their relationship and how that concludes. But outside of that, like as far as like, because it's like the same thing, right? They do all the missions. There's all this comedy. Yeah. It's just trash. Like, Taylor, my girlfriend, like she's a casual movie watcher, right? She like, sometimes I think I think there's a sense of respect for when we go watch movies, like as for us, because like we don't want to laugh at a movie, like because we don't want to like disrespect it, even though we think it's trash, But she was straight up laughing at the action, like she was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this! Like it's so silly." Like, and if
that's the thing is, I think
when
they
you have
that.
a casual viewer doing that,
it's
bad.
Well, it seems like they know that. I watched Chris Stuckman's review, and he said like it's like they've turned it into the silly, like what everyone thought, like the direction that everyone thought they're going to go in. Oh, now they're going to go to space, and these movies are getting way more. It's not just like they're self-aware and they know there's. Like I know there's jokes that, like Tyrese is making jokes about. Oh, I think we might actually be invincible. Like because I told you I read the whole.
This is so true to Rachel's comment here. It's so true because like there's a scene at the end of the movie where he's talking to his son and he's like, "Oh, so you know how at every movie they have like a barbecue and they say grace and stuff."
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, buddy, you ready to say grace?" And it's like he's standing like this, and the boy's like, "But I don't know what to say." And he's like, "Just say what's in your heart." And it's like that same expression. Like And look, I
like
appreciate
Vin
Vin
Diesel a
Diesel
lot.
for
I
who
like
he
him.
is.
I
I
really
do.
like him. Yes,
But we know he's not a great actor.
Yeah. He's got, like he seems like a really nice guy from what I hear.
There's a reason why he's starring in these billion-dollar movies.
Well, it's crazy. I think this is what when he left the first one to do Triple X. I know, like, these movies are what I think he thought Triple X was going to be.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
And then
like the big action franchise.
Yes. And then it just, I don't know. It's weird. These ones just took off for some reason. So yeah, like I said, I read the whole plot synopsis on Wikipedia, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not going to go see this. I'm going to rent it as soon as it's available on.
Look, it's already pulled in 428 million. I consider us still in the pandemic era. Like, I still think there's a lot of people hesitant to go to the movies.
Sure.
So 428 million already in the pandemic era is great.
That's very good. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Is Keanu Reeves supposed to be in the next one?
I hope so. That'll just make it better. The Fast movies desperately need that ensemble aspect back. Characters like Hobbs and Brian, former agents, and even Giselle help made you believe they could pull off such missions. Comment from Gio, our news correspondent.
They do need.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, okay, you have like these casual like mechanics and stuff who became super spies, right? But then you introduce like a character like Giselle, who we knew was like a super spy, right? And okay, cool. You can have like casual, like badass drivers working with super agents, and they just work together and get stuff done. But when it gets a little ridiculous sometimes, so
let's change out some team members here. It's all the same people.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's gotten old, like Ludacris and Tyrese, and
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like Hobbs and Shaw. Like, we're bringing in Ryan Reynolds and Kevin Hart over there, and like
switch it up, or even like whatever. Throw Tyrese with Hobbs and Shaw, and then bring in somebody else to be in this movie. Like, mix it up, like if you're gonna do it. But I will say, Jason Statham wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
But he's in the post-credit scene. And I don't know about you, but I love Jason Statham so much. Like, he's a
huge
treasure. Have you seen Spy?
Yes.
He's so hilarious in that movie?
Yes.
Do you remember when, like, at the end, he takes the boat like on the lake, and he's like, "All right, I'm riding off into the sunset." I forget what he says, but he basically takes like a motorboat. Like, they're all done, they complete the mission, they're like happy ending, and he rides off onto a lake, which like doesn't lead to anywhere.
Yeah,
and he's just like driving off onto the lake as if he's gonna like go out into the ocean and
off into
like fly, like ride to a different country or something. Like,
he is the best part of that movie. Yeah, definitely.
He's so he's great at comedy too. He's great at comedy. But yeah, man, I mean, you haven't seen F9, but we had a very like interesting conversation considering you haven't seen the movie. And I know we talked about this with The Quiet Place too, back when we did our spoiler review, but I'm curious to you, has it changed for you? Because this was my one negative, is that, like, do you think that movie can stand on its own? Like, can you, like, is the ending satisfying to you? Like, what if they never made a third one?
I think it is. I think it is a satisfying ending because they got away, because they're trying to figure out how to stop this one monster that's trying to kill them, and they do. And then to keep the people, the other kid back at the house, or the warehouse or wherever they are, trying to figure out how to kill that monster, and they do. And so if they just end it there, it's because you got to look at it like they're just trying to get out of the situations that they're in. If you look at it like as a larger global, we need to figure out how to stop these monsters all over the world, then it's not satisfying. But if you just look at the story, smaller,
to me, doesn't the family have to reunite? Like,
they do, and you kind of have to assume that they will.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, I can see how you can kind of leave you wanting at the end. But the whole point was that she was going to get to that radio station and the brother's listening. She told him to listen. And so I figured somebody will get on there and say, "Hey, come to this island." And so, I don't know.
Yeah,
because he knows it. You know, so that's how I took it. So
no,
I
still like it. I love it. It's great filmmaking. And look, it's our boy John Krasinski putting in work. So we can't be mad.
He's doing
all right. So real quick before we move on for movies, you wanted to talk about Spiral. I haven't seen it. So do you want to wait until I've seen it, or do you want to drop some comments on it?
If you plan on seeing it, we can wait on. It doesn't have to be like you don't have to like watch it before the next show or anything. But
so I mean, it's a month from now, so I could.
Okay. Well, it depends. What do you? Well, are you into the Saw movies?
Yes. So without spoiling it, well, look, I love Chris Rock, and I like the Saw franchise, like overall. Yeah. There's some really bad movies in it, but I still like it overall. So is what you wanted to talk about spoiler oriented?
Oh no, I was curious if you. No, it's not. I can certainly do it without spoiling.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, whatever you wanted to get off your chest about Spiral.
Not too much. It's just really quick. But I was just curious about it. It's another movie I actually went and saw. I actually saw it, Gio, near your neck of the woods at the Studio Movie Grill. It's my first time ever going there.
Wow! Look, Gio, Keith's in our neighborhood doesn't hit us up.
Wow. I know. I absolutely thought about that. I said, I should call one of them and see if they want.
You'll have to next time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was my first time there. That's pretty cool. I had never been there before.
All right, look, it's not the best movie watching experience. But they don't have the best. I haven't been there in a while, actually. But when I used to go, they don't have the best visual and audio.
Okay, the audio was crazy for this. It was the loudest. I'm not kidding. The loudest I've ever heard.
Oh, they play it really loud, and I think their speakers are distorted.
It was super loud, and 21 Savage has 4 songs on the soundtrack, and so when one of his songs popped up in the end credits, it was like, oh my god, this sounds like I'm at a concert.
21 Savage has songs on the Spiral soundtrack.
Yes, he has a song called Spiral. I love it. It's really good. I like one of his songs.
Okay.
So yeah, but this is what I'll say. The Chris Rock's really good. He's actually really good in it. I don't know if you remember the trailers. I'll watch the trailer again if you want. And actually, don't watch the trailer. But the stuff.
I need to know something. Have you seen Top 5?
No, I've never seen Top 5. No.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I need to watch that. I've always heard about how good that is, and you've told me as well.
All right, so I added homework assignments to the end of the show notes, and I was gonna skip it because we didn't have time to think of one, but we're doing it at the end of the show. So
okay.
I thought of mine. I'm not gonna tell you what it is yet. So if you have a homework assignment for me, I was thinking we can both assign one because we have a month to do it. If we don't finish it in a month, then we don't care, obviously. But okay, go. Sorry, Chris Rock reminded me of Top 5. So go ahead.
Yeah. He's really good in this. He's actually really, really good. But the connections to, and I've only seen some of Saw 1, so I've never really. Those movies never really.
Is there a heavy connection to Saw 1?
No.
I mean, you could just say yes. Oh, okay. I thought you were trying not to spoil something for me.
No, it's not that. Well, what I was going to say about it just overall is the connections to Saw are pretty thin, to be honest.
Really? Okay. I mean, I'm actually okay with that.
Okay. So just so you know, going in.
I'm not a big Saw fan. Sure. I'm a mediocre Saw fan.
Yeah. It's not they just honestly, it could have been anything, and I think they just threw in a couple of.
But wasn't it Chris Rock's idea, and he wanted to do it and everything?
Apparently, and it would be fine. Like I said, it didn't necessarily have to be from the Book of Saw, like they call it. This could have been any serial killer movie, but they just decided to add the Saw part and then some weird Saw machines that didn't really, So. But other than that,
whatever. I don't even care. All right, so we know Jigsaw's dead at this point, right?
And they say it in this movie. They're like,
so he's still dead, right?
Yes. When the first murder happens, they're like, and he sends them a tape, and it's to play a game.
And is he still orchestrating stuff from the grave somehow?
So, well, what it is they're like, they say, okay, and you see a little video of the doll, and you hear the voice, and then they're like, okay, I thought the Jigsaw killer was dead, and they're like, nah, it's another copycat. Because, he had all in what, 3 or 4 or whatever, he had other people doing it.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, well, it's another Jigsaw copycat, and that's essentially it.
Random question for you, Keith.
No! Oh my gosh, Star Drew, I still haven't watched it. Jeez. I need you to keep reminding me to get on YouTube and watch this.
Is that is that the Thomas Jane one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Still haven't watched.
Did Star Drew give you a homework assignment and that you haven't finished still?
Pretty much, man. Me and Gio talked about this like a month and a half ago, and I still haven't watched that.
Oh, wow.
So I'm gonna get Star Drew. I promise I'm gonna get on it between now and our next show, or maybe by the next Fandom United. Because I don't know. I know it's 4th of July. I don't know if we're doing
definitely want to talk. I definitely want to see Spiral because I'm just curious. Like, even though like people say movies aren't good, like if I was interested, I still want to see it. Oh
yeah, no, it's worth watching. It's definitely worth
unless people are like, oh my god, it was just the worst movie I've ever seen, or it's just like complete dog crap. Like then I'm like, okay,
it's not bad at all.
Time.
It's not bad at all.
Okay. I think people were disappointed because I think people were excited, is what it was, and they were disappointed.
It could have been a little bit more, but I don't want to say anything about the weird. There's some weird, like obviously it's brutal, like some of the murders, but it's not. It doesn't seem as exotic or crazy as previous Saw movies.
Okay.
Yeah. But
all right, man. Well, yeah. So that'll do it for the movie segment. We went a little bit longer than we normally will, but hey, it's the first episode back, so that's okay.
Yeah, man.
Now we're gonna talk some sports, and I know maybe some of the viewers aren't, might not be sports fans, but hey, this show's for everybody. It's a variety show. And Rachel, I believe if you're still watching, you live in Arizona, don't you?
Arizona, right? If you don't mind us saying.
Arizona. Yeah. Are they going crazy out there for the Phoenix Suns?
Yeah, right.
We're about to talk some NBA playoffs right now. And we're also, after we talk a little bit of NBA playoffs, we're going to say, and look, full disclosure, I'm a Lakers fan, if you can't tell. But I'm okay not naming LeBron James the best player in the league. I don't know if I am willing to say it myself, but I'm okay for the argument now, which I never was prior to this year. Before, I wasn't even hearing the possibility before this year. Now I'm open to the conversation. So we're going to, after we talk a little bit of playoffs, we're going to have a discussion about if it's not LeBron James anymore, who is the best player in the league. But Keith, I just want to get your quick thoughts on, and thank you, Rachel. I already know how it is. Like, can you imagine if the Kings were in the playoffs in our town? We live in Sacramento, greater Sacramento area. If the Kings were in the playoffs, that's all anyone would ever be talking about.
It's fun time.
Envy you. Yeah. We envy you, Rachel. But how are you feeling about these playoffs so far, man? Any takeaways? And since it is the first episode back to Bartley Barnes, and we're going to have to get into a heated discussion about LeBron James, I'm going to take a shot. Cheers to Bartley and Barnes being back.
Yes, I should have told me. I would have got a shot. It'd be like drink champs. Noriega and drink champs. There's a drink. We'll get to it later. But
Keith, I'm the alcoholic on the show, all right?
Hey, there's an episode of Drink Champs, and I think I sent you where Royce and 5'9" was on there a couple years ago. We'll talk about it later. But it was really good. But no, the playoffs, it's been interesting playoffs. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, I like when it's I like the openness. I like seeing new people get in there. So I had no problem with like the Lakers being out, obviously, because I don't like the Lakers, but I do. I heavily respect LeBron James. My appreciation for him has grown over the years. I was a heavy critic for a long time.
Did you dislike him because like everybody just anointed him like as being great without even proving anything yet, or what made you dislike him?
His psyche fascinates me. I'm just fascinated by him as a person and the stuff that bothers him. And he says stuff that just a lot of times makes me roll my eyes. And I'm just like, LeBron, why do you care? He cares so much what people think. And it just fascinates me because you and I have talked so much about Kobe Bryant. And look, I know people are different. Everybody's different. Kobe didn't care. Didn't care what anybody thought. He's always, if you just, I watch stuff about Kobe Bryant every day. He hated the comparisons, the Jordan comparisons. He openly would admit, like, listen, everything I got came from Michael Jordan. Like, he said that. He did it his own way. He did his own spin. He put in so much work, and his whole thing was, I'm not getting into the greatest this or that. I don't care. My resume speaks for itself. I'll let other people make those arguments. I don't care. Whereas LeBron, good Lord, if he's not the MVP, he's actually complaining about it.
That's why I'll never make the argument that Kobe's the greatest player of all time, but he is without a doubt my favorite player of all time.
He's my number 2. And I don't mind if anybody wants to say he's number 1. I will not argue. Obviously, I'm going to go.
Really? See, like,
Michael
that's
Jordan,
so crazy.
Kobe
And look,
right.
I don't think fan bias should come into play when we're talking the greatest of all time. They shouldn't. And so for me, because I love Kobe, obviously, but I'm just saying I wouldn't put Kobe like as number 1. I wouldn't even put Kobe in top 5, honestly. Like, I
understand that.
The jury's still out on LeBron, but I have Jordan and LeBron as 1A, 1B, and I have Tim Duncan as number 3, to be honest. And then it's up for debate for the rest,
Well, for me as a basketball lifer, when I say this stuff and I talk about these whatever things, I'm just looking at the game. Like, I'm talking about the way these.
We got my buddy Joe in the comments.
Yeah, Joe, you're tripping.
And so it's funny, Joe, because you hear me say about like I'm willing, like, I'm not even gonna talk about Kobe as top 3. And look, if somebody wants to make that argument, I'm gonna listen to it, obviously, because I love Kobe. But Keith is a Washington Wizards fan and a Sacramento Kings fan. So it's not like you're a big Lakers fan or anything. So the fact that you're not even a Lakers fan and to you, Kobe is your number 2 all time, like, that to me shows like it's genuine. Like, you're not just saying that because like for any ulterior motives. Like, you genuinely believe that, which is 100%. Awesome.
Yeah, like I said, and I'm just looking at just basketball, what these guys do with the ball within those 4 lines up and down the court. That's my criteria. I'm not looking at titles necessarily. I'm just talking about the way these guys play the game.
No, and I think titles are great, but they're not the determining factor.
No, because
they shouldn't be.
If we're comparing resumes, I'll say this: LeBron James is he's gonna wind up with the greatest resume of all time. So in that sense, if that's what people are looking at, you can call him the greatest ever, and I can't argue with that because he's in top 5, top 10 in many categories. It's insane.
I go back and forth between LeBron and Jordan. Like, I'm like, I said LeBron for so many years, and then after watching The Last Dance, I'm like, okay.
I know, right?
I wasn't like old enough to watch all this stuff and like to take it in and understand it. And after watching that documentary, okay, like, maybe I can't like name LeBron James the greatest yet.
There's a situation where if you look at the end of the game, I'm giving like, if I have to choose between any one of those guys, like LeBron, Kobe, Michael, if it's those 3, LeBron's, and I know people say LeBron's going to make the right play. He's going to find. I understand that. I want the guy who's going to, like, Kobe's or Jordan, like, they're going to score, or figure out a way to score, get a way to get that shot off. I don't know all the time. I've seen plays, and LeBron does make the right play a lot of time. He makes the right basketball play. He's a facilitator. I love that because I'm a passer. Like, when I played basketball, I was a passer myself, so I like that. He doesn't have that, to me, just watching him. He doesn't have that thing that those two guys had, or a lot of guys had.
Well, like it's different. Like he's typically not gonna run up and hit the mid ranger for the win or hit the 3 for the win. He's done that before.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you play for 20 years and you're in playoffs every year, most years you're gonna have those type of games. But he used to be able to just, take it to the hole and nobody could stop him.
How Joe? How old are you? How old are you?
He's my age. He's 29.
Okay, listen.
But all right, so Joe, I'll give you some context. Joe is like a diehard NBA fan. Like,
yeah.
So, like, not saying he's right about everything, but I'm saying he's done his homework.
No, I'm I feel you. I'm not saying that, but I'm just, listen, clutch. No, I understand that. I understand that because there's a lot of guys that are clutch. Trying to think of. There's guys that are clutch that don't have huge like numbers. There's a bunch of clutch players over the years that are not considered like great all-time players, but they were clutch. But I'm talking about at that level of top guys here. You see, like his comment about Kobe and confidence. All these guys have confidence. I know, Joe. You gotta get on. Yeah, you gotta get Joe on to talk about this.
No, I actually was gonna bring him on for this conversation, but yeah, we'll talk after we'll bring you on next time. We'll talk NBA Finals.
Yeah, talk NBA. Yeah. But for me, I don't know. I look at the way these guys work.
So we went into like a greatest of all time discussion based on the NBA playoffs. We'll talk about the NBA playoffs. I don't care. We talk about whatever we want. But Joe, we do this monthly, so this won't be till like the first week of July or the last week of June. So hopefully we'll get you on then. But basically, like I love the different mindsets, right? Like I'm a Lakers fan, but I'm only willing to like maybe put Kobe at like number 7 or number 8. But like and honestly, my love for LeBron is not with his years with the Lakers. Like it's not.
Of course.
Yeah. Let me. So, anyways, so Keith, you could finish up those final thoughts you had, but also if you have any thoughts on the current playoffs right now.
Yeah, we can.
I just want to bring something up too regarding
real quick.
LeBron.
I'm gonna just say, look, go to the archives, go to YouTube. I'm telling you, watch Kobe Bryant from 2002 through to about 2007 or 8. I'm telling you, you ain't never seen basketball played like that. I'm telling you,
well, and also
the guy was a machine.
I'll take your word for it because, like, Joe and I were the same age. We were kids during that time.
Exactly.
We were children. So I haven't gone back and rewatched those much, but so like my perspective of it, which is from when I was a kid.
Yes.
So that's just speaking for myself.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, ain't never seen anybody play like that. That's some of the best basketball, other than Michael Jordan, like I said, I've ever seen anybody play. And there's a lot of guys out there. Allen Iverson, obviously, is one of my favorite all time. And I look at who I think is the best now. For me, Kevin Durant, what that guy does at his size. Steph Curry is a very close second, but Durant at his size, being nearly.
Wait, hold on. What? So prior, all right. When was LeBron not the best player in the NBA anymore to you?
I've never had him really at number 1 necessarily. There was a stretch, I think Miami LeBron, probably those 4 years he's in Miami, that's the best he's ever been. He was a monster. Like, so if it was going to be any time, it would probably been that stretch there. I think his last year in Cleveland and his 4 years in Miami, I could say he was probably the best player in the NBA during that stretch there. But at a certain point, I think it went from being Kobe into LeBron, and then from there, I think it went into for me Durant has taken that because what he does is incredible. Like it's at his size to handle the ball like he does. There's nothing he can't do. Nothing. All right, LeBron's limited offensively, to believe it or not, at some levels. There's nothing that Kevin Durant can't do. Or I would say LeBron's limited, but there's stuff that he.
No, I mean he's not the greatest 3-point shooter.
I'm not even talking about that because he's actually a very much improved shooter.
He's not bad, but he's not great.
That's what I'm saying. Kevin Durant, there's nothing. He's unguardable. Literally, you can't stop him. Like, there's nothing a defense can do that he's not prepared for. And that's what I'm talking about. That's why I say I look at just the game. Like, he's one of the greatest scorers of all time. I know people give him a hard time because he went and joined the Warriors. I don't care about that. But, like, I'm talking about just basketball. Like, if I'm starting a team, I'm taking him personally.
Okay, so for me, and look, so when I first came up with this topic, I was a little mad that the Lakers were out of the playoffs. Yeah. And look, Anthony Davis was hurt, but I was watching LeBron play, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're not even playing with any heart. Like, you can see it in them.
That's my issue with LeBron.
Like, you're not even playing with any heart. Like, you don't even care right now if you lose this series, and you just want to go home and hang out in LA.
When he gets down, and I've watched him. He did that in Cleveland both times. He did it in Miami. And he gets down and he quits. He goes into quit mode.
I took it personal because he's like doing this because like
with your team, right?
So he still thinks he's the best player in the NBA, right? So if you are, you should be able to carry this team and beat the Suns. You should be able to take over this game and beat the Suns. And
there's a thing. That's what I'm saying. There's a thing he doesn't have.
But don't act like you're the undisputed best player in the game.
That's my issue.
Not back it up. And look, I'm saying this as a Lakers fan. I love LeBron. Like I said, I think he might be the greatest of all time. And look, I think LeBron, I want to show something real quick, and I think we forget this. Oh, we can't really. Let me take our thing away. But look at this. Okay, hold on. Let me zoom in a little bit on this. How do you do this? Okay. Let me see here. Okay. So let's bring this up. Okay. Can you see? Oh, we're going. Okay.
Well, let me go full screen here.
Okay. So look at this. All right. So I'm okay saying that like Kobe was arguably the best player in like 2007 through 2010. Like I'm okay with that argument. Yeah, you could argue LeBron. But to me, there is no question, hands down, 1,000% that LeBron is the best player in the NBA from 2010 to 2020. There is no question to me. Look at this. The finals. Miami Heat. Cavaliers. They didn't make it this year. He got injured. The Lakers sucked. And then back in the finals again, winning.
Again,
that is insane. That is insane.
If you're looking at resumes, yes, I would understand. And the fact that he's leading the league in assists.
Forget about this. And he led the league in assists last year in 2020.
That is very impressive to me. Like at his age, to lead the NBA in assists is incredible. His field goal percentage has always been like it's insane. Shooting 58% from the floor, which is incredible. But everything you just said is that's always been my number one issues with LeBron James is that he'll go into quit mode, or as he's even referred to, chill mode. I heard him say it out his mouth in the middle of the NBA season.
Hey, there's a reason why. Look, he wasn't playoff LeBron this year, but there's a reason why playoff LeBron is a term.
He tends to take it easy. Joe, you are 100% wrong. 100% wrong. Kobe Bryant, not the 1 year that he won MVP, he was absolutely the best player that year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 2008.
Easily,
there's no
the 2 years. Listen, the 2 years.
Even LeBron said he's the best player in the league. Even LeBron said it.
The 2 years that Steve Nash won those MVPs, those should have been Kobe Bryant. Both of those. 2006, Kobe Bryant was easily the best player in the NBA. That was the year that he averaged, I think, 35 when he scored the 81 points. He had that stretch where he scored, I think, 55, 50, 60, 65, that 4-game stretch where he was just insane. Man, listen, it's not even, and I know Joe's got Shaq 2003. Shaq was done. Shaq was done after 2002. All right, I'm telling you right now. Shaq at the end, after that third title, no. Tim Duncan, I gave Tim Duncan, but
I love
saying
Tim
that,
Duncan.
yeah. Kobe Bryant, not the greatest player, and I understand if he if he doesn't like, he's an anti-Kobe guy.
Oh, 100%. He hates the. Look, he can't get over the 0-2 Kings losing to the Lakers.
Hey, listen, I hear you, but watch him play. He was incredible. I'm telling you, you've never seen anybody play like that. He's got Andrew Bynum one year. He's Gasol hold him by him. But I'm telling you, man, he's one of the best. He's, for me, like I said, that's the best. But LeBron has tendency to take plays off a lot of times. Like I said, when he gets down, you say he just doesn't have that urgency.
Okay, but Joe, it's funny. Like you get a sniff of somebody complimenting Kobe, and you go at it. Like you have to list all this stuff. Like you come at me like that when we talk about it in person, but like I'm not even saying anything about Kobe. I just said I can't put Kobe past top 8, and we got my buddy Keith, the Wizards fan over here, showing Kobe some love, and you gotta go all in on dissing Kobe. That's an anti-Kobe. No, Keith wasn't even making a strong case for Kobe. Like that's the whole thing. But anyways. All right. Look, I'll say real quick. So you think Durant? So look, I still think LeBron is the best player in the league. Like I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, he still is. I understand because he's overall like I think 2020 LeBron is more close to what like he should be, and I just think that like he has the ability to lead the league in assists. Like
what do you
insane.
think? If you swap him and Durant, what do you think? What do you think those teams would do? Put Durant on the Nets. I mean, put LeBron on the Nets. Put Durant on the Lakers. What do you think?
And everybody's healthy. Obviously, well, okay. I mean,
let's say both teams what happened in the playoffs this year. Same circumstances. Okay. Swap those two guys out. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I mean, arguably the same thing.
You think so?
Like in a different way.
Durant was incredible.
Thing. But
so if he's playing the way he played and he's on the Lakers,
but Anthony Davis was out though too. So we were talking about who has the better team with Anthony Davis out and with Harden limping on one leg and Kyrie not playing. Like
you're right. But what did Durant do with those two guys out?
Yeah, he was killing it because he knew he had to. But to me, why doesn't he do that every game? Why doesn't he play like that all the time? That's what I don't.
Because he's got those two stars with him.
Yeah, that's what I don't get about star players. It's like turn it on, turn it off. No, it should always be on.
I don't think he does that. I don't think LeBron does that, and there's a lot of guys. The Clippers do that. Like Gio's asking about Kawhi. Kawhi tends to do that. Turn it on.
No, that's fair, Joe. That's fair, man. I like our obviously this is all opinion. Like
yeah,
we're all giving our opinions, right? Like so it's all love, man. It's all love. But all right, so when I conjured this idea and I wanted to talk about this, you know who I was gonna say, and I hinted towards it the other night when we were talking. But if LeBron is not the best player in the NBA, it is absolutely 100% Steph Curry. I don't like he is a madman. He's insane. He should have been the MVP. He's this great. He's so damn good. And I hate the Warriors. I hate the Warriors dynasty that stretch where they were just going to the finals every year. I would have voted him MVP. Me, if you take LeBron out of the NBA, like I think Curry's just like he's so amazing. He's just so
people don't.
Look, Klay Thompson's been out the last 2 years. Draymond Green went from like a just elite defender, elite like third guy on a team to like just he's still like a good role player, but like he's not what he was, and he's just killing it, carrying them to the playing game. I gotta go. If it's not LeBron, it's Steph Curry.
As a basketball player, people don't understand really. They just look at the results. They just look at highlights. People don't understand how good Steph Curry is. and the type of work that guy puts in to be as good as he is, like it just I watched this YouTube video. I'll send it to you as soon as we're done of this drill that he does. That it's you have to hit. He's 5 spots all around the perimeter, all around the 3-point. No, I'm sorry, they're inside. He starts with a close-up shot. He makes 5. He's got to make 10. He's got to make 10 shots. He starts with a close-up shot. He makes the 1, and he steps back. He goes back further each time, and then he goes all around the 3-point arc. And if he misses 1, he goes all the way back to the beginning and starts over. He's got to actually strain each shot. It winds up being like 100 or however many shots it is, and he does that like twice a day. Like he shoots hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shots every day, and I mean, his handle, and not to mention he's running around a lot. Like it's one thing to be as good as he is. Everyone knows, especially this year with the Warriors, like everyone knows he's getting the ball and he's shooting, and he still did what he did, right? Like the defense knows it's going to him, and he still was able to do what he did this year. I mean, yeah, people just don't realize how good Steph Curry is.
I mean, I do this a lot. It happened to me with Russell Wilson. Like I hated the Seahawks,
right?
Like, and I'm like F Russell Wilson, but then over time I'm like, damn, Russell Wilson is so good. Like I can't do nothing but respect him. Same thing happened with Steph Curry and the Warriors. F the Warriors, F Steph Curry. He's so damn good. I can't even hate. Like it's just impossible. But anyways, for this year, go Suns. I want Chris Paul to win a championship. I would have voted if I had a vote, I would have voted Chris Paul for MVP, to be honest, because he's literally the most valuable player. He literally took like a team that didn't make the playoffs to like not the number 1 seed, but like arguably the best team in the West and to the final.
They were number 2, I think. So yeah. Well, it's a regular season award. They should call it Player of the Year, because I hate the
exactly. It shouldn't be most valuable player. Yeah, you're right, because valuable is the key word there, and that's not what it is.
Because I said for years, because my argument for years was if you would have taken DeMarcus Cousins off the Kings, like they would have been just even worse than they were. They were like straight to the lottery, and they were in the lottery anyway.
Get out of here with that. Giannis will have plenty of more chances to win a championship. Chris Paul, I need my dude Chris Paul to get one. He deserves it. All right, Keith. So we're running a little low on time, so I'm not gonna talk about all the stuff I want to talk about in the television section. If you want to talk about Mayor of Easttown, we can.
So I'll tell you what. Just a spoiler. That's going to be my homework for you then.
Okay. So we'll talk about that at the end of the show. But then I just really quick, one show that you and I were – hold on real quick. The NBA discussion's still lingering. I know that.
No, they were.
I watched it, but I'm just saying, like, I remember in the offseason when Chris Paul went to the Suns, and we even talked about this on our first round. We were trying to do a basketball podcast on First Round Fantasy, but we didn't continue it. But we're probably going to bring it back. But we talked about this, and I was saying that Chris Paul going to the Suns was a genius move because he's the missing piece. He's the one piece that was going to elevate them to the top, and then it just happened. And so they would not be here without Chris Paul. That just no one could ever. I will never like hear an argument about that. They would not be here without Chris Paul. But okay, so. Really quick, before around the pandemic time or before the pandemic, you told me about a show called The Good Place.
Yes.
And you were like, it's one of my favorite shows ever. And it wasn't even done yet. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like that show with Kristen Bell? Like I love Kristen Bell, but it looks silly. And you're like, watch The Good Place. And I'm like, okay, well, usually Keith and I like the same stuff. So I'll watch The Good Place. The Good Place is absolutely amazing. It is incredible. It's touching. It makes you. Oh, of course. Hey, we got the Mavericks diehard in here.
Here we go. Yeah.
The Mavericks diehard. He loves Dirk. He loves Luka. Honestly,
don't know.
If somebody says it, like, obviously, there's only a handful of players I'll hear an argument about best player in the league, and Luka's one of them. So I
give it
honestly, yeah, Luka's one of them.
They need to surround him with some. I don't know about Porzingis and some of those guys they got around him. So I don't know.
Yes, I agree with both of your statements here, Damon. Absolutely, for sure.
100%.
But the good place.
Demont, congrats on the little one, man. I haven't seen him in a little while, so I would say congrats to him on the little one.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to all go hang out sometime.
Yeah.
But just really quick, because we won't spend too much time on this. The Good Place is amazing. Go and watch it if you haven't watched it. Like, most of you won't be disappointed. Go and watch it. But last time we talked about The Good Place, you said it is the greatest sitcom of all time. It was your favorite sitcom of all time. And I just want to know, do you still feel that way? And if so, why or why not?
Did I say that? I think I said it was the best.
For the first time, we use hyperbole, right? But
yeah, I think I said it was the best finale of all time.
Okay.
I think I might have said that.
I think you were saying, like, I'm considering it being my favorite sitcom of all time.
Yeah. Which, and I still hold to that. That show, it was such a nice show. I like that creator. That creator, Michael Schur is his name. He was behind The Office, Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and
I love all of those shows.
And now The Good Place. Exactly. So anything that guy does, I'm in. So yeah. So it's just a nice show with with nice people. I like the thematic stuff about, just obviously what it means to be a good person. Obviously the stuff about, the afterlife and what happens to you when we're gone, and just putting out good energy in the world, man, and being and into the universe. And I love what happened at the end with the character.
It makes you feel like good as a human being watching this show. It gives you optimism about humanity, which is not easy to come about these days.
Especially these days, exactly right. It just makes you want to be a good person, or at least for me, watch it. I don't know. It just, like I said, just gave you hope. It's very hopeful. Bittersweet ending. Obviously, it was sad.
And it's so creative. Like the way they handle everything is so dude. Maya Rudolph is hilarious.
She was so funny. Exactly. Yeah, she was so funny on here. Yeah, everybody. Ted Danson's so great on the show.
And Chidi is one of the best characters ever.
Jamila, what's her name? That plays Tahani. She's going to be on She-Hulk.
I want to rewatch it, man. And oh my goodness, what's the robot's name? She's like the
Janet.
Janet is incredible. And what's the guy who she has a relationship with?
Jason.
All right, so dude, Jason is so funny. I love Jason because, all right,
loves the Jaguars
thing ever. So the Jaguars, and like everything he does, if you like he just does something cool, he's like Bortles, like anything he does, he's like Bortles. But then when he minor spoiler, but when he's in the real Good Place and like they're doing like his funeral in the Good Place to move on to to finally be like actually like not existing dead.
Yeah.
His buddy's on the stage and he's like, "You'll always be my Gardner Minshew." So like they're such like diehard Jacksonville Jaguar fans that they were all on the hype on Bortles, but then as time went on in real time and on the show, it switched to Gardner Minshew, who they were so. And hey, if those characters existed now, Trevor Lawrence, come on now.
So Blake Bortles, I believe he's a backup in Tampa, right? Did he win a Super Bowl?
No, he's a backup in. All right, so the Packers signed him as like a to come in and like do mini camp with the players and stuff.
Was he not on the Buccaneers last year?
I think he was on the Rams.
On the Rams? Okay.
Yeah, but now he's in Green Bay.
Wasn't he a backup somewhere on somebody that just won a Super Bowl? I thought he was.
I gotta look it up.
Because I remember because people were tagging. I remember seeing on Twitter like a bunch of memes and stuff. People tagging him about Blake Bortles, and I might be wrong. I thought I.
So he was on the Rams in 2019.
Okay.
He might have been on the Bucks. I'm not sure.
I thought he was in Tampa. I might be. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of misremembering something. I don't know. But
well, he was on the Broncos, Packers, Rams.
Oh, I know that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Wow. Okay.
I think that was it. Yeah, but maybe like
anyway. Okay.
Either way, he was on like a backup for a good team. So
yeah,
that's what.
Okay. That's where I saw that, but well, whatever it was. But yeah, no, that's it's just a Gardner Minshew. Yeah, you're right. And so yeah, that was really funny.
But I love that. Like that, I always brought that up to you. Like it was just so funny to me. But
yeah, he's great. He's really good.
Okay, so let's wrap this up real quick. So you, like, I just wanted to know that, like, so where does it stand for you now? Because I love it too.
Let me just get this on here. Slow. I've seen some of. I remember Becker. I've seen a little bit of episodes of Becker. It's a pretty good show. I never got into it. I know Becker's big, like overseas, apparently, like in Australia and stuff like that. That started doing so. Yeah, I never actually watched all of it, but I've seen it before. It's pretty good. Got a cool theme song. But no, I've been rewatching The Office. I kind of think I go back and forth between those two.
Did you finish Parks and Rec?
No. See, I need to pick that up. I need to go ahead and
because I know you like it. And I was telling you to watch Parks and Rec. To me, and I was late on The Office. I watched Parks and Rec before I watched The Office, but to me, and before I watched The Office or Parks and Rec, How I Met Your Mother was my favorite sitcom of all time. And I know you and I still love How I Met Your Mother. It is a little dated.
It definitely
is. Yeah. But I still love that show. I don't care what anybody says. Like I will argue with anyone that show's good to great. But to me, my favorite is Parks and Rec. Like Parks and Rec is my favorite sitcom of all time.
I think with How I Met Your Mother, I think they just weren't expecting it to go as long as it did and to be as popular as it was. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of tell there's a certain point where they kind of like
they stopped being so misogynistic.
Well, I just think as far as the direction of the show, I don't know if they really knew where they were trying to go. With it.
I know what you mean though. Yeah, it kind of like for sure like slows down.
Yeah, I think they went on like, and that's the exact mistake that shows like A Good Place. The exact thing that Michael Schur, I read an article about it, that he said he didn't want that to happen. Like The Good Place was never meant to go any longer than it did. Like he always had a beginning, middle, and end for that show.
No, I like that, and that's like what they did with Breaking Bad too.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and that's it.
And we're going to talk Better Call Saul, but we don't have much time. But all I'm going to say is, Better Call Saul is freaking great. I love it.
Yes. See, I started the second episode, and I need to finish that.
We gotta catch up on Better Call Saul, and I mean, I'll probably finish it before next month.
Okay. You know what? I'll
talk about it because we both love Breaking Bad, and I really like Better Call Saul so far. I'm in like the middle of season 2.
My daughter Charlize actually just watched all of Breaking Bad.
Nice.
So, yeah. So
isn't it cool that some of your kids are getting old enough to like watch that, and then you can talk to them about it?
Yeah. My son Kevin wants to watch it.
If she catches up on Better Call Saul, you guys can watch it together.
Yeah, 100%. I told you, we're gonna probably start watching it. So
yeah, it's like its own little like TV universe.
Right.
But anyways, we're talking about The Good Place real quick. So it's somewhere in the top 5 for you, basically.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, easily. Easily. It's just such a I'm telling you, the finale is really what got me. I think it's the best finale of a show I've ever watched.
Awesome, and I love it. It's a great finale. I will not argue that. All right, so normally on Bartley and Barnes, we are going to talk some music, and we still are. But normally we're going to have more. We're going to spend 20 to 30 minutes on music, but we're just going to take a few minutes here One thing that, and I will warn you guys, when it comes to music, we're mostly gonna talk rap and hip hop. But that's not to say, Keith and I mean, are fans of all music. I don't know. I'll speak for myself. Like, I'm a fan of classic rock. I'm a fan of, I love 2000s pop music. Like, I'm talking like the 2000s to 2010. I love that era of pop music. So we love most music, but we really love rap and hip hop. And one of the things that Keith brought to my attention was J. Cole's new album, The Off Season. And I listened to it over the past 2 days, and so I'll give some context. So I mentioned to you the other day, like, I think, and maybe mainstream is the wrong word, but what I said was that J. Cole is the best mainstream rapper out right now. And what I meant by that is he's the best rapper out that everybody knows who he is.
Sure.
Basically. Like, everybody knows the name J. Cole. But not to say that he's like mainstream like Jay-Z or like Eminem or Lil Wayne. I don't think he's, and he even calls himself a B-list celebrity in one of his songs. Like, I think that's a perfect way to put it. Like, those are A-list rappers, right? The guys I just named.
Right.
I would say maybe he's like the very, very top tier of B-list rappers.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say. But to me, I've been saying this for like 6 years. Like, I mean, I personally have other rappers that you guys might not have heard of that I think are better. But as far as rappers that people know of, I think J. Cole's the best out there. I've been saying that for like 5-6 years, and I don't think it's even close. Like, I think Gio brought up Drake. Star Drew just brought up Drake.
Star-Drew's got Drake.
Like, here's the thing. I'm a huge Lil Wayne fan. I was a diehard Lil Wayne fan ever since high school. Yeah. And Drake first started popping up out of nowhere on Lil Wayne mixtapes. And we start hearing this guy rapping like he's from Canada and he used to be on Degrassi. And we're like, and me and my buddy Joe, the guy who was commenting about Kobe on the podcast earlier, like, we're like, who the hell is this guy? Like, and he just Drake came out spitting fire, like straight fire. And I loved him. And I still do love Drake all time, like over his career. Yeah. But at this point in his career, I just don't think he even tries to rap anymore. Like, I just don't think he's that good anymore. But anyways, I think he's still good. He's still good. But I don't race to go, listen to the newest Drake album. Like, I didn't know J. Cole put out a new album. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh my God, I went to Spotify, downloaded it, and I'm like, I got to listen to this. Yeah. So I just think J. Cole, look, Drake is more than a rapper, though, is the thing. Drake is a pop star. He even has a song called Pop Star.
Pop Star, yeah.
And he even says he wants to transcend rap and be like a Madonna, like the Beatles, like something like that. And he actually is doing that because he has a ton of singles, like, he has the most hit singles of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tied with somebody else.
Which is incredible. All right.
I respect Drake as a musical artist, but when it comes down to a rapper, I think J. Cole's way better.
Agree. Although I've always been on the fence about Drake, but you can't deny, like, lyrically, he's
good. Like, I would never say he's a bad rapper.
He's the leaders of this new school, and he's kind of, well, now he's a veteran. But I mean, I look at the three guys are Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamar. Those three guys are like the three guys over the last 10
and
years.
Even look, I love J. Cole's song Middle Child. Like, I freaking love that song so much. And I think so. He says something about like Drake gave him a watch, and then he's like, and then shortly after that he says, like, they act like there can't be two legends at the same time. And I think he's talking about him and Drake.
Yes.
And like, that's fair, but I just think
I thought he was talking about him, and I personally took that as him and Kendrick. But yeah, I think you're right.
But he doesn't even mention Kendrick.
But he did say no, he doesn't. But I think that I think it's those three guys. But because he said.
But all right, so
Drizzy gave me I got his watch from Drizzy.
I've been off on my hip hop lately, kind of like my movie news. Has Kendrick put anything new out recently?
No, supposedly
I respect Kendrick as a rapper, but I just like, where's he at?
Well, there's a lot of guys that do that, but listen, that's okay. The albums he's put out are pretty incredible, like incredible.
You like the recent one?
Which one was the To Pimp a Butterfly? My son loves that album.
I did not like that album.
Really? It's a concept album, so it's a little bit. It's different. I understand. I get
like,
it.
I don't know, man. I just like pure rap.
I hear you.
I just want to hear you flow. Like,
I hear you.
I don't want to hear all this trick stuff. Like, I don't know.
I get it. It's different. It's definitely different. Jay-Z did a similar thing with American Gangster. It was a concept album, and but it's still really good. But
let us know what it is, man. Hey, if anybody, and as far as this show goes, if anybody has recommendations, throw it in. We'll do our best to try to get to them before the next show, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
And not just with music, with anything.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So what's it called?
The off season.
Off season, yes. Halftime.
All right. All right. I listened. So look, I've only listened to it beginning to end once, and then I listened to a couple songs outside of that. I think track 1 is the best song on the album. I forget the name of it.
95 South.
Is that what it is?
With Cameron does the intro.
Oh, dude. First of all, like, the beat is amazing.
Yeah.
The instrumental. And then J. Cole is killing it on that song. And then he says he's rapping a bunch of stuff with us, and he says, "Put an M on your head. Now you Luigi's brother." I'm like, oh my God, that's what I'm talking about. But I like it. Look, I'll be honest. I don't love this album so far, but I'll tell you what happens with me every time. Hear an album for the first time. Oh, that was all right. Then I start listening to it over and over again, and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. That happens to me with almost every rap album.
That's gonna happen. My favorite on this album, I got 2. One of them is My Life. That's a song with 21 Savage and Moray. That's my favorite
good one.
Love that song. Yeah, I love that song. And then Pride is the Devil.
That's a good one. That one's
good. Lil Baby. Lil Baby snapped on that. Hey, Lil Baby killed that song. I'm a big fan. I like him a lot.
Well, real quick before I forget, so I even put this in the notes. So we're probably not going to talk about it though, but I put Da Baby in my notes because I've been coming around on Da Baby.
He's all right.
He's actually kind of sick. Like,
he's okay. He's right.
Look, not all rappers. I don't need you to be like the most intelligent lyricist for me to enjoy you. Like, that's not what it's all about. It's about rhythm. It's about, okay, you got, and honestly, instrumentals / beats play a lot into music. So like when you got some dope ass beats, it makes your music sound better. But also delivery, voice, rhythm. It's not just about lyricism. It's an aspect, but all those things matter too. You can be the greatest lyricist ever, but if you don't deliver it well, then nobody cares.
Yeah.
So the way the baby delivers, I just like him, man. Like he has a song called Babysitter, like that. I'll slap that at a party anytime.
Okay.
Like it's.
I gotta check it out.
But anyways,
I like Lil Baby. I think Lil Baby's.
So I haven't really heard much of Lil Baby, to be honest. So like I have no opinion.
Yeah.
But I like that song though. Song though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's got a great song that on the Space Jam soundtrack. It's really good. It's Kirk Franklin. But yeah, no, I think Cole's new album. My son J. Cole is his favorite rapper of all time. Like J. Cole for him is what Nas was for me when I was his age. So like he loves J. Cole. We're actually getting tickets to the concert. He's coming to Oakland in October.
Okay, let me bring up something really quick. You just reminded me about Nas. So when J. Cole was first coming out, he was like, he's a hot young rapper. They all these guys came up to get like at the same time. Big Sean, J. Cole, Wiz Khalifa. These guys were all coming up at the same time.
Wale.
The rap game was looking very promising at that time. Like it was looking good. Yeah. And I really liked J. Cole. And so he was like a guy that like a lot of the legends were liked a lot too. Yep. And then he put out the song "Workout" for me. Remember that song, "Workout"?
Yeah.
First of all, I love that song. I don't care what anybody says. That song's great.
Yeah.
But when he put out that song, apparently Nas was disappointed in him.
Nas didn't like it.
Because Nas was like, what is this guy doing? Like, he has so much promise. Why is he putting out a song like that?
He said he's better than that.
And I'm like, first of all, I love Nas, respect him. He's an all-time great. But who the hell cares? You put out music that you want to put out, and it should, if it works for people, it works for people. You might feel differently, Keith, but I honestly, like, I like that song. I play it, like, I listen to it like once a month. Like, it comes on my playlist. Like, and just because, like, what's wrong with putting out a song like that? There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay. No, but also.
And then he put out a song, like, apologizing to Nas.
Called Let Nas Down.
No, that was unnecessary. Like, he should not care what Nas thinks.
Well, he did. He does, because that's what, because he felt like Nas, Cole even said he didn't want to, I think if I recall, like, he didn't want that to be the single. Like, he didn't, like, for him, he's not that kind of rapper. He's not a radio guy. He doesn't make radio.
Okay, and then now he's using auto-tune and half the songs on his new album.
Sure, but auto-tune, but that doesn't, but, like, okay, what you just said about Drake, right? Let's see, that's a Drake song, Workout, in my opinion. Like, that would be a Drake song.
But what's wrong with diversifying and doing a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that? Like, what's wrong with that?
Well, there's not a lot of people that do that. And Nas is known, if you know anything about Nas, like, he's kind of known about speaking his mind about those sort of things. And so he's not trying to insult a guy at all. Like, but he's done that a few times throughout his career, where he'll get to an interview, somebody will get him talking about different rappers at certain points in time, even people that are friends of his. He'll have some criticism though. But yeah, I think he just,
and no shade towards Nas for me. I'm just saying J. Cole shouldn't care.
Well, I think
this was like 10 years ago, so who cares?
Yeah, okay. But I think he just felt like Cole. He's just telling him, don't compromise what you really want to do
I'll tell you what,
accommodate, the radio. To accommodate.
I'll tell you what, J. Cole became more well known and made a lot more money because of that song. And I don't call that a sellout. I don't.
That's not necessarily a sellout.
If you could do something like in your career that was like a little different from what you normally do, but some people might look down upon it, but it's totally ethically fine. But you're gonna get an extra $50,000 for doing it. You would do it. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing that.
Yes and no. Yes, you're right. But I think in Cole's case, and he hasn't made a song like that since. Not really.
No, and I know, I've noticed, yeah.
But his lyricism has since then taken off. And that's what I'm saying. That's now he's looked at as one of the top 2 or 3 guys.
He's great, and I know we want him to get better, but I thought he was great then too.
Sure, and everyone did. But I think his thing was just don't look at a guy like, let's take Fabulous, right? Like, Fabulous made those songs. And
that's
people, you're right, exactly. See, but he made those songs. He made the songs with the R&B.
But he was still spitting fire on his albums, though. Like, why can't you do both?
Well, yeah, and he's a mixtape guy. But see, Fab got a lot of criticism, for being like this R&B kind of.
And if I were him, I would not care, because I got $1 million in my bank account.
And people don't. Yeah, I know, 100%, and that's exactly how he is. That's exactly how he is. But I don't know. I think Nas just didn't want Cole at the time.
Yeah, that's just something I always think about when J. Cole comes up, because I remember that and I was like, what the hell?
It's like that song.
And I get it. Like, if I was an up and coming rapper and my favorite rapper criticized me, I probably would react too. You know what I mean?
I think in his sense, I think he just, because you do sound like everyone else, because there's a lot of people making those songs, especially at that time. And I think Nas just don't conform and sound. Don't try to.
But like,
because if you listen to it now, it doesn't fit him. Honestly, because I tend to agree.
I disagree. I think that song is totally fine, and the only reason it doesn't fit him is because he hasn't made another song like that. But
that's what I'm saying. But he's not that kind of.
He made that song. He wrote those lyrics. He heard the beat. He did it. Like nobody forced him to make that song.
There's a story behind that song. I think I wish I had it handy, but there is something.
Nobody holds a gun to your head and says, "Write this song."
Of course not. Of course not. But at the same time, if it doesn't, and that would be like someone.
Look, you can make those radio mainstream songs and still spit like good lyrics within those, and he still does.
But not everybody can do that. And
but he did.
There's few people that.
Those lyrics in that song are great.
But it's not. He's not that type of artist that makes those type of songs.
Says who?
That's just in my opinion. Obviously, he feels that way because he hasn't done it since.
No, I mean, if I ever met him, I would tell him that. Hey, I love that song. I would tell him that.
Sure, that's fine. It's a fun song. There's people that it's a fun song. Nas was like that. Nas didn't make radio hits. Mm-hmm. He had the biggest one he probably had was 25 years ago with Lauryn Hill with "If I Ruled the World."
If I Ruled the World,
and
yeah.
If you actually
but that's just because she was on it, like, and
if you actually listen to the lyrics, that's what exactly. There's a bunch of Outkast is like that. Like people are like people got to listen to Outkast. Like they're really way deeper than what people think. But they make these. Andre 3000 in Hey Ya, he had a song. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all just want to dance. And so that's what. I don't know. People, it's a tough line.
To me, like a rapper can be like, okay, this hot up and comer like lyricist, right? And still put out a song like that. Like, I don't think you can do both. Like, why exclude yourself from doing something? That's like a movie director saying, no, I'll never make a comedy. That's not me. Like, why not? Like, Steven Spielberg has made comedies. Like, you can. Okay, if you're not capable of it, that's fine. But J. Cole showed that he's capable of it.
Steven Spielberg made a comedy called 1945 or 1944 or whatever, and everyone killed him for it because it was apparently not very good. I've never seen it. And he's never made a movie like that since. So people are like, just stick to the thing that you do. And I think Cole's thing was, it maybe you're looking at it objectively for him.
But okay, so. If you look at it like, okay, maybe like hardcore pure rap fans, maybe they don't like that song, but like the general public loves that song. So like, what?
Maybe. But how much of that do you really want to? Do you want to make a whole album of that? Maybe
no, not at all. No. But you can put a song out like that every once in a while, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, sure. But I don't know how.
Okay, all right. So did it personally bother you that he put out that song?
No, not at all. Because that was a lot of people's intro. He was on Jay-Z's Blueprint 3 album. That's where I first heard him. But it didn't bother me because I thought, okay, well, yeah, he's a rapper. It's a song. It samples the Kanye West New Workout Plan song, and so I thought it was a fun song. It's got a lot of radio play, But I noticed he kind of just went away. I knew he had a song called, like I said, the song called "Let Nas Down," where he talked about it, and which I found it's interesting. I think his 2014 Forest Hills Drive album is probably his best.
That's his first album after he became famous, right?
I think that was his second album after the Sideline Story, which was his debut.
I can't remember which one of those it was, but
I think it's his second album, and no guest features. It's just him and he doesn't do a lot of guest features.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the one prior to that. Then, to me, that's his first album is his best album, in my opinion.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Really?
I love it. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to go back and re-listen to them all, but to me, it's. But anyways, all right. Okay. So, the off season, best album I've heard in a while.
I think it's great. I think it's great.
But I don't. Like I told you, I never really gravitate towards an album after the first time. Even honestly, it happened to me with every Lil Wayne album, every single one. I'm like, this is all right. This is pretty good. But a few songs, and then a month later, I love every single song. This happens to me every time. So I'm gonna keep listening to it. Maybe
I've been listening to it. I've been listening to it for 2 months. So
still, I recognize. He's still at the top of his game.
Absolutely.
He's 100% at the top of his game. So,
and that's the thing with Drake. See, that's the thing with Cole. like Charlemagne talks about this on the Breakfast Club all the time. Like he's whenever his name comes up, like Cole is great. This album is great because it's just him just rapping and it's just beats, him rapping. It's not that. There's nothing really too.
Features on this one.
Well, he just keeps it simple. Like there's nothing really, and that's what I think.
Well,
he's at his best.
And honestly, I will say it's a little weird that like every song is super short, and it's not like a lot of them are like he spits one verse and then the song is over.
Yep.
And I don't like part of me, and I know I noticed a lot of rappers doing that lately.
I love it.
And part of me, honestly, I like it, but why every song? Like part of me misses verse, chorus, verse, chorus, chorus.
Well, yeah, that's the formulaic kind of thing.
But like, all right, whatever.
Get away from, I think.
Spit a verse, let the beat play for 20 seconds, and say a couple words like in between, and then spit another verse. Like I want 3 verses from you on a song.
Yeah,
can I get that, please?
Yeah. Anyway, listen. You like that's what you got. You got Drake for now. You like Drake, so there you go.
I mean, I guess, but like
or Lil Wayne, or I don't know.
Part of me is like I like J. Cole. I love J. Cole. I love him so much. I want 3 verses from you on a song. Why do I only get 1?
Hey, listen. You'd be glad you got that. Happily you
we'll see, man. All right, man. So real quick, we gotta show some love to DMX. So I'll let you have the floor. We got to wrap up here.
I was gonna say if you want, we can save that because I don't want to go too long. But just obviously that hurt DMX, and then a week later Black Rob, and then Shock G right after that from Digital Underground. Apparently Biz Markie is in hospice care right now. It's just crazy for me.
It sucks because these are all the you especially you grew up watching these guys, and then I caught on to some of these guys when I was growing up, and especially DMX is one of my favorite rappers of all time. DMX I think he's in my top 10. I gotta look at it, but he's one of my favorite rappers of all time. My dad and his girlfriend, they used to listen to like all the old albums, like when I was just sitting in the back seat listening to them when they would play them in the car, and it was so good. Yeah. And Black Rob, he sings "Whoa," right?
Yep.
Dude, that song's a hitter.
Put that, I'll tell you, you put that song on anywhere, and it's gonna go off.
Whoa. That's It's like that's what he's most known for.
As soon as that beat comes on, So just rest in peace to those guys. Certainly, it's just crazy because we've seen a lot of these guys are going in their early 50s and stuff, and it's like that hard living from 20, 25 years ago is catching up to a lot of them. So there's a lot. At the same time, a lot of guys are really actually taking really good care of
Oh,
themselves too. I see a lot of Nas and Jadakiss and a lot of people
nowadays, man. I mean,
keep themselves in shape.
Maybe because that's like my generation, right? When I was like in middle school, then those were the guys I was listening to, so hopefully these guys can live a little longer.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, hopefully
I don't have to watch all these legends die when I'm 40.
Exactly right. That's what I was gonna say. So hopefully people start taking care of themselves now.
Rest in peace, DMX. I didn't even know Black Rob passed away, man. Like until you brought it up. On the show, when you texted me what you want to talk about on the show is when I realized it. But as soon as I saw his name, I was like, I heard "whoa" in my head. That's what he's known for. But any of us would kill to be known for one classic hit. It's crazy. But
if you get a chance,
DMX is the one that hit me hard, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I teared up, man. I just He obviously he had his faults and stuff, but he was always a work in progress, man. And he was learning, and it sounds like he was a really, interesting guy.
You were telling me a Black Rob album to check out, or
everybody loved him. But if you get on, Black Rob, just check out his debut, Life Story. It's a great album, honestly.
Dude, so I have, I used to buy CDs, right, and then My car doesn't have the CD player in it
Right.
now because I got a 2016 Honda. So now I have to do digital music. So I was buying digital albums, and now I have like Spotify, like where you can get any music, and I love it because now that you're telling me about the Black Rob album, I can just go download it, and I don't have to buy it. You know, I already pay for Spotify.
Boom.
So
yeah. It's called Life Stories. That's the album that has Whoa on it. There's a song on there called Can I Live with the Locks, and I'm telling you, it's a classic. It's a beat that got used a lot in a lot of mixtapes because a lot of people were freestyle too. But yeah, the four of them really went in on that song. So
what was the album you said?
Called Life Story.
Okay.
Yeah, it's his debut album. It's the one that has Whoa on it.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
awesome,
that's start to finish. It's a great album. So rest in peace to both those guys and Shock G, and Get Better, Biz Markie. You know, hopefully he can pull out of this. You know. So yeah, but you know.
Absolutely, man. And real quick, also, you wanted to talk about the Royce da 5'9" version of Renegade. Now, let me ask you: Did this just come out? Like, did they release it late or something? Because I thought I've heard it before.
So he was on. I was listening back to Noriega, his podcast, Drink Champs.
Yeah.
And he was on. I think it was maybe 4 years ago or something like that. And I heard him talking about it, and I was like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "Yeah." And Noriega was blown away. He didn't know that either.
Oh,
okay. So the version of Renegade. So Renegade started off, huh?
This version has been out there though, right?
So he said it's on YouTube, and I went back and listened to it. I'm like, "Oh man, this is wow." So, but it's the same song, except it's obviously it was started off as a song that was going to be on one of his albums.
And for anybody listening who doesn't know, this is a Jay-Z Eminem song, Renegade.
Classic.
Like, amazing song. Like
classic. And people are always debating still to this day which one of them who did Eminem kind of had a better verse.
I think it's close, but
yeah, it's a so anyway,
look,
there's a version. The original version is actually with Royce da 5'9".
So what's funny about this, I'll say I heard it before you like said we should talk about it. I've heard it before. Okay. When I listened to it, I was like, I know this, but go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's that. Yeah, so I was wondering if you'd heard it because I thought of you right away. I was like, oh, man, I wonder if Jacob's heard this. But yeah, Royce says,
I heard it so long. I heard it like honestly, like 12 years ago.
Right. Yeah. Right. Because he said it's like, well, it's been on YouTube since then.
But it's funny, like honestly, Royce kills it on this version, and we big Royce da 5'9" fans. And Royce da 5'9" is like. He was an underground rapper from Detroit that rapped with Eminem. Eminem was coming up in his younger days. But then I think obviously people know who he is now because they did the Bad Meets Evil album, which is incredible, actually. But, dude, I told you before, I respect Jay-Z. Like, he is one of the greats. He's not one of my favorites, but I recognize him as one of the greats. No question about it. But I think even Royce's verses might be better than Jay-Z's.
So I thought about that too. And because Royce said that, like, when he talked about it, he was just like, we just weren't really. They both just said, we could do better. And then he said,
can you tell by the song? It's like doesn't quite sound right. Like, I don't think they mastered it fully.
So, well, he said it wasn't finished. Like, so he said they just sent M wanted to send it to Jay. And Royce, he checked with him first, and he said, "It was like, yeah, go ahead. If you feel like it would be better for him, go ahead." The only thing he changed was the part where he's like, instead of like he said,
so Eminem's verses are basically the same.
It's exactly the same. And he said he just swapped out the part.
And you could tell that he re-recorded it for the Jay-Z version. It was not the same recording. Like he's saying it, the way he says stuff is different, even though it's the same lyrics.
There's a line right before the chorus. He says. And he's Royce from the King of Detroit, and I'm Mr. Sinister, and that's the part where he swapped it out. So but that
was cool. And honestly, re-listening to that made me realize how great Eminem's verses are on that. Like, I wouldn't like argue hard with somebody if they said those are the best Eminem verses ever. To be honest,
I think so. He definitely brought his A game, and he made the beat too. So
yeah. No, for sure, man. All right, so let's wrap this up. I think we already know our homework assignments. So I want you, you have a month. I want you to watch the Chris Rock directed starring film top 5.
Okay.
Is so a little bit of backstory. So this movie, so Gio and I, we went down to LA. We were going to the AMC 100 million views party, and we were going to watch a movie at AMC theaters before this. We were originally going to watch Foxcatcher, which I'm glad we didn't because that's a depressing film. We like lost our parking ticket and like couldn't get out of this parking structure to make it to the movie on time. So because of that, we got delayed and we were like, oh, top 5 is playing in like 10 minutes. Let's go watch that. Freaking love that movie. So good. Keith, I think I don't want to make your expectations too high, actually. I think you're going to like this movie a lot.
No, I've heard nothing but good things about it. I've always wanted to see it. I don't know why I've missed it.
I think you're going to like it a lot. So top 5 is my homework assignment for you. What do you got for me, man?
So I'm going to have you watch Mayor of Easttown on HBO. It's 7 episodes miniseries.
I will say, remember our rule for if it's just show assignment, we watch the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's up to us. But if you claim it to be so good, then do you think I won't want to continue after the first 2 episodes?
Well, I'm just going to tell you right now, it's a murder mystery, so you're going to want to finish. So that's how I know.
Well, I probably will. So if it's
not
that good, then no, for sure. And I think that's fair because we can't force someone to watch a whole season of television if they don't like it.
Yeah, totally. And like I said, it's a miniseries. Like I said, I didn't expect.
Oh, so how long are the episodes? Because we did say if it's a sitcom, first 4 episodes. If it's a drama, first 2 episodes.
And they're about this is like 50 minutes or so. So if, like I said, you watch the first 2. If you're not into it, then by all means, But
absolutely, no, that's fair. All right, man.
I sat, and I just watched the whole thing in one day.
Okay, so look, honestly, once I start a show, it's very hard for me to stop. So I think that there's a good chance I might be hooked. And is it just 1 season?
Yeah, it's a miniseries. I doubt that we'll.
Oh, so it's basically like a movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm probably not going to be able to not keep watching it.
I think so.
Awesome.
Yeah. So.
Well, that should do it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Look, this is our first episode back in almost a year. So, of course, we're going to go 2.5 hours. But honestly, we don't really have a limit on this show. But we're going to aim for a 2-hour mark. We're going to try to go whatever the last week of the month is, we're going to try to aim for that Friday.
Yeah.
So this was, mix of June and July. But that's going to do it for the return of Bartley and Barnes. Mr. Keith Barnes, this has been a blast.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I missed this because I know. I don't talk to anybody else about hip hop like that.
Yeah, exactly. Same here.
That basketball discussion was fun. I love my buddy Joe in the comments. Crap. So we'll get to it. Thank you all for. Thank you, Star Drew. Thank you, Rachel. You guys are real ones. Honestly, you guys watched our whole episode.
Yes.
I can't even begin to explain how much that means to me. So thank you so much.
100%. Shout out to Gio. Thanks for joining us and
thank you, Gio. Thank you, Jake, for all the producing and the editing and the graphics and all that.
Yes.
We'll see you guys next
month.
Never thought I'd say that.